Part 32. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 312. The second stop for the autograph signing was Chengdu. Before leaving Hongcheng, Zhou Ziyu had dinner with her former roommates, Huo Lili, Chen Wenjing, Cao Xiaoqian, and Song Xiona. Tan Hui didn't come. Looking at Zhou Ziyu, Huo Lili, Cao Xiaoqian, and Song Xiona were all extremely envious. I transferred to Shanghai Normal University, published a book and became a beautiful writer. I went back to school to sign books. I am really a winner in life. Huo Lili was even more determined that she must find a good boyfriend. A good life is not as good as a good marriage. During the book signing in Chengdu, more fans came to the scene, and the proportion of male fans began to increase. By the time we arrived at the third stop, Hangzhou, there was already a long queue at the autograph signing site, which was extremely popular. Because the Reuters photos of Zhou Ziyu signing autographs have been circulated on the internet. Photos are being circulated and reposted crazily on post bars, university forums, communities, blogs, and QQ groups. Zhou Ziyu suddenly became famous on the internet and became an internet celebrity beauty writer. Seeing her popularity, some online media also spontaneously reported and reposted her, which intensified the popularity. It can only be said that people pay special attention to girls who are talented and beautiful. What a beautiful reporter, a beautiful chess player, a beautiful cartoonist. My heart is Bing Bing. If Bing Bing wasn't beautiful, even if she was a reporter from the central media, she wouldn't be able to become famous all over the internet. People are judged by their appearance. If a talented person is good looking, his or her achievements will be even higher. Compared with those female writers whose looks are only slightly better than ordinary, Zhou Ziyu is a truly beautiful writer. If she is not a beauty writer, then there will be no beauty writers. Many people at the autograph signing site were not real fans, especially many boys. They bought a novel and came to see the beauties. This directly led to the novel being sold out in Hangzhou. In addition, several media also came spontaneously to interview and take photos. After the signing, several media conducted a brief interview with Zhou Ziyu. During the interview, Zhou Ziyu bluntly said that she had a boyfriend. Moreover, her boyfriend is also an author and has helped her a lot in writing. After the interview press release and high-definition Reuters photos were posted online, Zhou Ziyu became even more popular. Her looks are stunning in the entertainment industry, let alone in the author circle. Such a beautiful beauty, instead of becoming a star, she actually writes novels. Many novel fans and netizens are extremely curious and interested in who is the mysterious boyfriend of beautiful writer Shen Yu. The interview said he was an author. Which male author is so lucky? Soon, Li Zhe's author identity, Ma Jiazimua, was discovered, and he promoted the book Wei Wei. In his novel fan group, after the news was revealed, the group exploded. Many people flooded the screen with Great God. Li Zhe's more than 20 fan groups, tens of thousands of people, were very excited and started a heated discussion. Don't think you have too many fans. In this era, readers like to join groups and fill them in. It is not an exaggeration for a great person like Li Zhe to have such a fan base. Fans in the novel group don't know Li Zhe's true identity, but they also know that he is still in school and is a college student. A student earns more than $1 million a year by writing books. He also found a very beautiful and talented girlfriend through writing books. Writing books really changes his destiny. He is a winner in life. Many fans clamored in the group to ask if Chen Yu was really Li Zhe's girlfriend, and asked him to post some beautiful photos of Chen Yu. Li Zhe, who has been diving and rarely appears in the group, actually posted a photo this time. As soon as the photo was posted, more than 20 groups exploded again. The photo is a selfie of Chen Yu, Zhou Ziyu, not a Reuters photo. This is a disguised confirmation that Zimua, Li Zhe, is really Chen Yu's boyfriend. Beijing and Shanghai, the last two stops for autograph signings, are becoming more popular each time. In Jiangning, at 4 p.m., the book signing period ended, and there were still many people waiting with novels in their hands. After discussing with the staff, Zhou Ziyu extended the signing time until after 5 o'clock in the evening to finish signing all the people. The last stop, at the Shanghai Normal University, Suhui, main school, was even more crowded with people. Students from the main school and outside the school, fans of novels, and people who came to see the beauties and watch the fun, it was extremely popular. Zhou Ziyu's popularity in school and in the university town has surpassed Wang Haining's, and she has become the #1 campus beauty in the normal university and even in the university town. The autograph sales in Shanghai did not end until 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. After 2 signings, Zhou Ziyu was exhausted and her wrists were so painful that she couldn't even lift them up. This is also thanks to the fact that the first printing volume of Wei Wei was small. The publishing house was afraid that it would not sell, so it did not dare to print many copies. Otherwise, she would never finish signing. After 5 signings, the tens of thousands of copies of the first printing of Wei Wei have been sold out. As the popularity grew, there were so many people in the country, and tens of thousands of novels were published that could not even make waves. As for the publishing house, they regretted not printing enough and were busy printing more. The pirated books have already come out, and when they were doing autograph signings in the Shanghai market, some people came to Zhou Ziyu to sign the pirated books. In addition to printing Wei Wei, the publishing house is also discussing with Zhou Ziyu about a new book, hoping that she will take advantage of the popularity to publish a new book quickly, and the conditions for the offer are extremely generous. Nowadays, the physical publishing industry is getting more and more sluggish. Under such circumstances, the publishing house is eager to offer a best-selling idol writer like Zhou Ziyu. After hearing that it would take Zhou Ziyu at least half a year or even a year to finish the new book, the publishing house became anxious. It was suggested that she write a few more short stories and publish a personal collection together with the 2 science fiction suspense short stories 445 Death and Trashcan Murder published in Science Fiction World magazine. The 2 novels Death at 445 and Trashcan Murder Incident originally received little attention after being published in Science Fiction World. Zhou Ziyu also received several thousand yuan in royalties. The manuscript fee for Science Fiction World is quite good, more than 200 per 1,000 words. But after Zhou Ziyu became popular on the internet, these 2 novels also became popular on the internet. Her fans were even more excited. Female authors who write youth campus romance novels are too common, but female authors who can write science fiction suspense novels are very rare, let alone beautiful writers. She is beautiful, has a smart mind, and combines wisdom and beauty. This is the only thing she has. After hearing from an interview that Chen Yu's new book is a love time travel suspense novel, fans have expressed great expectations. Zhou Ziyu's popularity has not only boosted the sales of novels. The news that Wei Wei has been changed into a drama has also attracted attention. The TV series became popular even before it was filmed. Fans of the novel and netizens clamored for the author Chen Yu, Zhou Ziyu, to play the role of Wei Wei. Zhang Jingxian is also very good at seizing the opportunity. Taking advantage of the situation, she announced a nationwide audition for TV drama actors. Anyone with or without acting experience can participate. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 313. Then she announced that she had invited author Shen Yu to participate in the filming. The popularity was immediately heightened. Fans of the novel and netizens thought that Chen Yu would really play the role of Wei Wei, and their enthusiasm suddenly became high. And Wei Wei has finally attracted some attention in the industry. Popular stars and actors looked down upon it, but many newcomers and young actors took the initiative and came to run for the election. After all, this drama is so popular, it might become a hit. On September 28, The last stop at the Shanghai stock market was sold out, and the entire signing trip was over. However, Josie did not return to school. She took a 10-day leave that has not yet expired, and the National Day holiday is coming soon. She plans to go back to school after the National Day. In fact, the school takes good care of famous students like Josie. Because this is the best recruitment advertisement. Bodyguard Lu Ji drove a red Porsche Boxster S, and a tired Josie sat in the passenger seat, rubbing her sore wrist. From 2 o'clock to 7 or 8 o'clock this afternoon, she signed 3,000 to 4,000 books. She also signed some readers who brought pirated books, which was really exhausting. The red Porsche sports car drove into the community where Josie rented on the Bund. Lu Ji sent Josie upstairs, watched her enter the room, and then turned around and left. "Husband, you are here." As soon as Josie entered the room, he was pleasantly surprised to find Li Jie sitting on the sofa in the living room. "I know you came here after signing the book today," Li Jie stood up and said with a smile. When Josie was away, Li Jie basically didn't come to live with her, because Zhou Qing would come to stay from time to time. "It's a bit inappropriate to live with my mother-in-law without my girlfriend, especially since the mother-in-law is still so young." Josie put on her high heels and slippers and came to Li Jie. Today she wore a white waist dress and a pair of flat glasses, which made her look less charming and more bookish. "Are you exhausted?" Li Jie pulled Josie to sit down on the sofa. "It's okay, but my wrist hurts a little." Josie subconsciously rubbed her wrist again. "Let me apply some medicine for you." Li Jie held Josie's slender, white, and tender hand, picked up the prepared ointment, applied it to her wrist, and massaged it gently. Josie looked at Li Jie's focused face, and couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth in his heart. She is a good man, but he is a little too affectionate. However, if he wasn't passionate, she wouldn't have a chance. Likes are all blind. Josie doesn't think Li Jie is a scumbag at all. Li Jie rubbed Josie's wrist for a while, then reluctantly let go of her little hand. "Okay." Josie moved her wrist again and found that it was much better and no longer hurt. "Honey, you are so kind," she smiled and leaned into Li Jie's arms. Li Jie hugged her and smiled. "Have you eaten?" "Eat outside." "Husband, what kind of game are you playing?" Josie noticed that Li Jie was controlling the mouse and clicking around on a cartoon-style farmland. There was a hut and a dog next to the farmland. "This is a new game developed by the company, called Fun Farm. However, I am more accustomed to calling it a vegetable stealing game." As Li Jie spoke, he collected the ripe white radishes and planted a new crop of pumpkins. The little game of stealing vegetables is not difficult to make and can be made in 5 or 6 days. It has been in closed beta testing for the past few days to optimize the playability and fun of the game. Josie saw that this was already the second edition. It is expected that it will be optimized again and then launched on the National Day. "Stealing food game," Josie said, looking at the game screen. "Yes, a food stealing game," Li Jie nodded. "This is a little game about growing vegetables, but the most fun part of it is not growing vegetables, but stealing other people's vegetables," he said and clicked on the friend interface. The game is still in closed beta, and the people playing the game are all staff from the R/U0026D Department of Fun 1 Technology. Li Jie clicked on Lu Kai's profile picture and came to her farm. Seeing that the tomatoes she planted were ripe, he stole a few and helped her get rid of the worms. "This game looks very interesting," Josie said with a smile. "Come and play for a while." Li Jie handed the mouse to her. He really didn't find this food stealing game very interesting. Back when people were stealing food, Li Jie felt baffled when he heard in the news that someone had added hundreds of friends and was forgetting to eat or sleep just to steal food. Josie took the mouse and got up. The newly planted vegetables in the ground were not yet ripe. She hoed and watered them, and then started to steal other people's vegetables. After stealing one house, she stole the next, and she quickly stole more than 100 friends in the friend column. After collecting enough experience and gold coins, a new land was opened. Seeing that she was a little addicted to playing, Li Jie smiled and said, "If you like to play, I will also help you open a farm." After having his own farm, Zhou started to be busy again, planting vegetables, harvesting vegetables, stealing vegetables, upgrading and opening up land. After playing for a while, she put down the mouse, stretched out, and said with a smile, "This game is really fun." Li Jie smiled, stretched out his arms to hold her in his arms, and kissed her. Zhou has been signing for more than a week, and he hasn't seen her for more than a week. He really misses her. The two were intimate for a while, and Zhou suddenly became a little resistant. "What's wrong?" Li Jie asked. "Not today, we have to wait 2 days," Zhou said softly. When Li Jie heard this, he immediately understood that this was a relative coming, so he let go of her. Seeing that he was a little disappointed, Zhou said something softly. After hearing this, Li Jie smiled and held her little hand. "Forget it, your hand is not injured." Zhou glanced at him, got up from the sofa, and knelt on the ground. Looking at Zhou, Li Jie suddenly felt a strange feeling in his heart. A popular and beautiful writer who is sought after by countless people kneels in front of you obediently. This feeling is indescribable. He finally understood why those rich people like celebrities and even spent millions to treat them to dinner. What you enjoy is the status bonus. Li Jie was more satisfied with Zhou's attitude. Although she became a beautiful writer, became popular, and gained wealth, she did not change at all and was still so obedient. This is why he is willing to support her. She is sober, knows how to advance and retreat, and understands who gave all this. There are too many people who are confused. After being supported by others, they immediately forget about the other person. They only feel that it is all their own ability and they deserve everything. Knowing this, Li Jie was not willing to help Xiaoqiao, Lu Kaiyu, Shen Xinyi, and others too much. Zhou is the only exception. As for Luan Xiaolin, she is a lover. Moreover, Li Jie would not let her become famous too quickly. After becoming famous, are there still many celebrities who forget about themselves and don't know their last name? And if Luan Xiaolin dares to raise her tail, he will immediately hide her in the snow, and if she continues to be unrepentant, then let her go. Zhou was accompanied by Li Jie, but Xiaoqiao stayed alone in the dormitory. Today is the weekend. Zhang Qiang, Lu Li, and Shen Man went out to play together. Zhang Yu didn't know who he was dating. Bai Wei also went out for something. Zhang Qiang and the others also asked Xiaoqiao to go out to play, but she declined. Xiaoqiao has been in a bad mood these days. She loves to laugh so much, but she doesn't even smile much. Seeing Zhou becoming famous on the internet and becoming a well-known best-selling author, her worries became more and more serious. Zhou has become famous, but she is still just an ordinary student. Will Li Jie still firmly choose her? Some people actually doubt Bai Wei's strength. A true tea ceremony master will never let you see it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanjie. Chapter 314. While Xiaoqiao was thinking wildly, he clicked on the mouse and sprinkled a bag of ordinary fertilizer into the ground. The strawberries that were supposed to take another hour to mature immediately matured. Yes, she is also playing the food stealing game. As soon as the food stealing game was played, Li Jie took advantage of Xiaoqiao. She is addicted to playing, and even when she is depressed, she does not forget to take care of the farm and steal vegetables. I won't let others steal my food. Xiaoqiao muttered quietly while harvesting the newly ripe strawberries and planting another crop of tomatoes. After planting the vegetables and watering them, She opened the friends column and started stealing vegetables. She first went to Li Zhe's farm. His food is easy to steal and he often forgets to collect it, and there are not many employees who dare to steal the big boss's food. However, Xiao Jiao discovered that Li Zhe had harvested the white radishes and planted a new pumpkin. Help Li Zhe hoe and weed, and she is ready to go to the next farm. Suddenly, Xiao Jiao found a new friend in the friends column. Sinking fish? Zhou Ziyu. She also opened a farm. Then, she realized that Zhou Ziyu was now with Li Zhe. Xiao Jiao suddenly felt even more uncomfortable, and he no longer felt like stealing food. Zhou Ziyu became famous and was accompanied by Li Zhe, but she stayed alone in the dormitory. Xiao Jiao couldn't help but pick up the phone and dial Li Zhe. Beep, beep. It took a while before the call was connected. Jiao Bao, you have something, Li Zhe's voice on the other end of the phone was a little strange. Husband, what are you doing? Xiao Jiao felt something was wrong. She is the president who understands very well. Did not do anything. Li Zhe changed the subject and said, have you missed me? After saying that, he breathed out again. Of course I miss you, Xiao Jiao said this through gritted teeth. Li Zhe, this bastard, was on the phone with her. The call was hung up, and Xiao Jiao could no longer bear the grievance, and tears fell from her eyes. How could Li Zhe do this? While talking to her on the phone, he also hung up on her. If Li Zhe knew what Xiao Jiao thought, he would definitely say that he was wronged. The reason why he hung up the phone in a hurry was because Zhou Ziyu was always making trouble and disturbing him, and he wanted to educate her. Xiao Jiao, are you crying? At this time, Bai Wei came back. As soon as she came in, she saw Xiao Jiao crying. What's wrong? What happened? She asked with concern. It's nothing. Xiao Jiao wiped the tears on his face with his hand. Bai Wei pulled up a chair and sat down next to her, took out a tissue and helped her wipe the tears on her face. Seeing Xiao Jiao depressed and worried these days, she felt uncomfortable. Xiao Jiao, if you have something on your mind, you can tell me. It will make you feel better if you tell me. Xiao Jiao was silent and didn't say a word. Bai Wei glanced at her and asked, are you worried that Zhou Ziyu will steal Li Zhe? Sister Wei, what should I do? Zhou Ziyu is too powerful, I can't compete with her, Li Zhe is going to be snatched away by her. Xiao Jiao couldn't help crying after hearing this. After hearing this, Bai Wei's expression became solemn. Don't be impatient and tell me slowly, what is going on? Xiao Jiao expressed all her worries. Bai Wei smiled after hearing this, don't think too much. The matter is not as serious as you think. Li Zhe still likes you more. Really? Xiao Jiao felt relieved after hearing what she said. Bai Wei's words have a reassuring power. However, it won't work if we continue like this, Bai Wei said again. No matter how much Li Zhe likes you, he can't bear the fact that Zhou Ziyu always plays tricks and uses tricks. Sister Wei, what should I do? Upon hearing this, Xiao Jiao became a little anxious again. Facing Xiao Jiao's request for help, Bai Wei hesitated and said nothing. Sister Wei, if you have a way, just help me, okay? Seeing that Bai Wei didn't speak, Xiao Jiao took her arm and begged coquettishly. I was almost bullied to death. The president can act coquettishly not only with Li Zhe, but also with girls. Bai Wei looked at Xiao Jiao and finally nodded. Seeing Xiao Jiao's happy face, she added, Xiao Jiao, I can help you, but you must agree to 3 conditions. Bai Wei is unwilling to interfere with other people's feelings. When outsiders get involved in such matters, it is often a thankless result. But Xiao Jiao is different. She could tell that Xiao Jiao really regarded her as a sister. Besides, Xiao Jiao helped her so much. She really couldn't stand to watch her being bullied and sit idly by. Sister Wei, what are your conditions? I promise you everything, Xiao Jiao said quickly. First, you have to tell me everything about you and Li Jie, as well as about Zhou Ziyu. You can't hide it? Bai Wei paused and said, I must understand it clearly so that I can help you find a solution. Xiao Jiao looked at Bai Wei and nodded, okay. Zhou Ziyu told her to be wary of Bai Wei, but she chose to trust Bai Wei completely. She has been fooled so many times and will never believe Zhou Ziyu's lies again. Bai Wei continued, second, you must listen to what I tell you to do. Xiao Jiao listened and nodded again. Bai Wei said the last condition, also, you can't tell anyone about what I'm helping you with, including Li Jie. Sister Wei, don't worry, I will never tell anyone, including Li Jie. Xiao Jiao promised. Seeing that Xiao Jiao agreed, Bai Wei nodded. Then tell me everything first. Xiao Jiao really didn't hide anything and told everything about her relationship with Li Jie and Zhou Ziyu. She even talked about her intimacy with Li Jie. Bai Wei blushed a little when she heard this. Although she had already noticed that Xiao Jiao was not really a good girl, she did not expect that she would be so open-minded. And Li Jie seems to be quite polite on the surface, but unexpectedly. After Xiao Jiao finished everything, Bai Wei thought for a while and said, besides you and Zhou Ziyu, Li Jie should have other women. I know Xiao Jiao was not surprised. And Lu Kaiyu. She had already guessed that Li Jie and Lu Kaiyu were hooking up, and she just pretended not to know. Bai Wei shook her head slightly, not only Lu Kaiyu, but also. Besides. Xiao Jiao was really surprised this time. He has another woman? Who is it? She asked urgently. Shen Xinyi, Luan Xiaolin, Sun Wanning, Wang Zhaining, and even people we don't know are all possible. Bai Wei named several names in succession. She paused and then said, however, Zhou Ziyu must know. Li Jie, you bastard, Xiao Jiao was a little angry. She can tolerate Li Jie's cheating and can acquiesce in Lu Kaiyu's existence, but that doesn't mean she will tolerate it indefinitely. Xiao Jiao, why don't you break up with Li Jie? Bai Wei suddenly said. Xiao Jiao was surprised when she heard this. Sister Wei, you said you would help me. Li Jie has become a playboy now and can no longer restrain himself. There will only be more and more women around him in the future. If you can't accept this, it's better to break up with him as soon as possible. After listening to what Xiao Jiao said, Bai Wei realized that Zhou Ziyu was probably competing for favor without a bottom line. This is troublesome. She is beautiful, gentle, and considerate. She doesn't care if a man has another woman, and even takes the initiative to cater to her. What man wouldn't like such a caring lover? It's too normal for Xiao Jiao to be unable to compete with the other party. If this continues, it will be a matter of time before she is eliminated. I will never break up with Li Jie, Xiao Jiao said firmly. After saying that, she took Bai Wei's arm and said coquettishly, Sister Wei, please help me, I beg you. Xiao Jiao, you are making things difficult for me, Bai Wei sighed softly. Once a man is obsessed, it is difficult to restrain him, let alone Li Jie who has Zhou Ziyu, who has no bottom line, who is indulging and instigating. If you want to win over Zhou Ziyu, you can't be too fussy. Am I just going to watch him keep looking for women? Xiao Jiao couldn't help but say. Of course not, Bai Wei said. Zhou Ziyu fights for favor without any bottom line, just to get the upper hand. If you try to imitate her, you will only fall behind. You have to learn to restrain him in a way that appropriately satisfies him. Bai Wei said. Xiao Jiao listened. Xiao Jiao became more and more excited as she listened. After Bai Wei finished speaking, she hugged her excitedly. Sister Wei, how do you know so much? You are so awesome. Bai Wei shook her head. These alone are not enough. Then what else should I do? Xiao Jiao asked quickly. Xiao Jiao, do you usually keep a diary? Bai Wei did not answer, but asked instead. Xiao Jiao didn't understand why she asked this. I write about it occasionally. You have to write a new diary, and I will teach you how to write it, Bai Wei said. Now Xiao Qiao has fallen into a disadvantage. To quickly save the situation, he can only use strange tricks. Xiao Qiao, you are going to the Shanghai Stock Exchange on November 1st, right? Bai Wei asked again. Yes, Xiao Qiao nodded. Sister Wei, come with me. I will take you everywhere to play. I don't go. Bai Wei paused and said, don't go either. Don't take the initiative to find Li Jie this time, wait for him to come to you. At 9 a.m. on October 1st, Qwen Farm was launched simultaneously on the School Network, Qwen Game Platform, and Quio Literature Network. Moreover, large-scale publicity and promotion was launched. A promotional banner for Fun Farm was hung on the home page of the school website. If you open Fun Wan Farm on the Fun Game platform, you can receive a gift pack for 3 games, Duntun Tang, Shenxian Dao, and Tower Defense 3 Kingdoms. You can get book coins by playing Quio Farm on Quio Literature Network. In addition, Li Jie also asked Quio Studio to publish several farm space novels to promote the game. What about bringing the farm to another world, taking a piece of land with you, bringing the farm to the Tang Dynasty and so on? Now Quio Studio has become a benchmark for online writing. It has already become popular in more than a dozen online literary genres, including the Mortal Flow, the Wizard Flow, the Divine Flow, and the Spiritual Energy Revival Flow. Many online writers are following the trend of Quio Studio. I believe that this farm space flow will also become a small hit. With large-scale publicity, Fun Farm quickly became popular in a small area. Especially in major universities across the country, many students are playing this game. Fun Wan Farm was launched only 3 days ago, and it ranks second among the most popular games on xiaonei.com. The first place was Duntun Tang. On October 4th, the great Chen Zimua, who has been diving and has not been seen for a long time, posted a photo of a sunken fish in the novel group. In the photo, Chen Yu, Zhou Ziyu, looked angry or resentful, staring at the computer screen, and made a note, "I'm so angry, the food was stolen again." As soon as the photo was posted, the group immediately became lively. Chen Yu, isn't it so beautiful? The author is showing off his girlfriend again. Master Zimua, I would like to ask, are there any sisters in Chen Yu's family? The readers in the group are all kinds of envious. Someone asked out of curiosity, who told me, what kind of game does Chen Yu play? Fun Farm is a new mini-game launched on the school network. You can grow and steal vegetables. The photo was quickly shared in more than 20 novel groups, and then spread out of the group. The beauty writer Chen Yu is very popular right now. This photo was widely reposted and spread by netizens and quickly became popular on the internet. I'm so angry, the food was stolen again. This sentence became a hot search and became a buzzword. The photo went viral, making Fun Farm also popular. Fun Technology took advantage of the situation and announced that it has invited beautiful writer Shen Yu to be the spokesperson of Qwen Farm. Every player who opens Fun Farm has the opportunity to become Chen Yu's friend and go to her farm to steal vegetables. As soon as the news spread, the popularity of Fun Farm increased again. After 7 days of National Day, Qwen Technology's backend statistics show that there are more than 6 million users who have opened Qwen Farm, and millions of new registered users are added every day. The traffic of xiaonei.com, Qwen Game Platform, and Quio Literature Network all increased dramatically. When the executives of major domestic game companies came back from vacation, they were a little confused when they found out that there was a popular little game on the market. Stealing food game? Can this little game become popular? In fact, the main reason why the food stealing game became popular so quickly was due to adequate publicity. During the 7 days of National Day, Qwen Technology spent 3 to 4 million to promote Qwen Farm. If we hadn't hired trolls and bought hot searches, how could a photo go viral all over the internet? Not to mention Zhou Ziyu is just an internet celebrity writer, not even an A-list celebrity has such great influence. After the National Day, Fun Ranch was launched on October 8. Qwen Technology spent another 5 to 6 million to continue promoting Qwen Farm. A 38-year-old woman played the food-stealing game and went online for 20 hours a day. She fainted at home after playing for 7 days. A man was fired for stealing food at work after the holiday. A couple is obsessed with growing vegetables online, and a girl breaks up because her boyfriend forgets to collect the vegetables. From time to time, eye-catching news breaks out on the internet, and the popularity of the game is also rising. On October 10, the number of users who have opened Fun Farm exceeded 10 million, initially setting off a nationwide trend of stealing food. Now there is no need for Qwen Technology to spend a lot of money on promotion. Gamers are actively recruiting people to join the game in order to steal more food. This game is spreading rapidly like a virus. In just 1 month, the number of registered users of Fun Farm exceeded 30 million. Qwen Technology, which was originally only slightly famous in the industry, has become completely famous in China. Since the National Day, the heads of major game operating platforms have come to Qwen Technology to negotiate the agency of Qwen Farm. Li Jie is also eager to expand the influence of Fun Farm and does not refuse cooperation. It's just that they can't agree on how to cooperate. The major game operating platforms only want to operate Fun Farm as an agent, but they are unwilling to accept cross-platform game data exchange. But this kind of agency method makes no sense to Li Jie. The food-stealing game is a social game. Only by communicating game data can we create a social game with high traffic. Decentralized agents and non-interoperability of game data between platforms will only disperse users and traffic. In the end, Li Jie only signed an agency licensing contract for Fun Farm with the only game platform that was willing to accept data exchange, and all other platforms rejected it. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanjie. Chapter 315. However, if you don't authorize a small game like the stealing food game, it doesn't mean that there is nothing they can do. Soon, a small game company learned from Fun Farm and produced a copycat version of Fun Farm. The game screen and mode are exactly the same as Fun Farm. For this kind of blatant plagiarism, Qwen Technology directly sued without mercy. In the past month, Li Jie has strengthened the control of Kudong Group and standardized the management system. On the one hand, a finance department has been established to centrally manage the group's funds. On the other hand, we cooperated with a large law firm in Shanghai to establish a group legal department. The legal team of lawyers is prepared to deal with this kind of plagiarism and infringement situation. Anyone who dares to plagiarize will be sued. Even if you imitate the rules of the game, it is difficult to determine whether there is infringement, and you may not win if you sue, but you still have to sue. Suing and wrangling cannot make the other party feel comfortable anymore. Otherwise, there will be more people plagiarizing unscrupulously. On October 11, after the number of registered users of Fun Farm exceeded 10 million, representatives from Penguin Games also came to Qwen Technology and offered to represent Fun Farm. And he wanted to buy out the agency rights of Fun Farm and offered a price of 10 million. In other words, a one-time agency fee is paid, and no income sharing is given. If other platforms dared to make such a request, Li Jie would reject it outright, but this is Penguin Game. If you reject it, they will learn from your game and make their own game. With the current strength of Fun Technology, how can it compete with Penguin Games? Li Jie did not meet the people from Penguin Games directly, but asked Zhao Jie to talk first. There is only one requirement: try to delay it as long as possible. You can agree to the agency request, but you can't buy it out completely. At most, you can only give up part of your rights. There is also the need to connect Quio literature to the Penguin platform. At this time, the Penguin platform is not open to the public. But Li Jie knew that the Penguin platform must be open to the outside world. Penguin Games will never agree to allow Qwen Games to connect to the Penguin platform. It is impossible for competitors to use their huge user base to do it. However, it is still very possible to connect Quio literature to the Penguin platform. Because Penguin has not yet proposed the concept of pen entertainment, let alone a literary website. Quio literature needs to be able to connect to the Penguin platform and take advantage of the other party's huge user base. It can be launched very quickly. For this reason, it will not be a loss even if it gives up the game of stealing food. Besides, at this time, Penguin senior management probably only had the idea of opening up the platform, but had not yet made up their mind. There will definitely be a discussion on whether to accept the conditions and open platform of Qwen technology. In this way, the purpose of delaying time is also achieved. October 3, Hongchen Normal School. Early in the morning, a large number of beautiful girls gathered outside the activity room on the first floor of the gymnasium. Funwan Technology is recruiting game publicists and promoters again, and these girls are all freshmen who have come to apply. Chen Xian saw more and more girls coming, and they were all good looking, and she felt more and more stressed. With so many beautiful girls competing for 10 places, it was more difficult than she expected. Why are there so many people here? She couldn't help but said to Fang Wenwen beside her. Not only people from our school, the Aviation Academy and the Police Academy, but also many people from other schools such as University of Finance and Economics, Foreign Affairs University and other schools came here, Fang Wenwen said. Chen Xian was a little surprised when she heard this. Financial University, Foreign College? Are they qualified to apply? The registration conditions on the recruitment poster don't seem to limit the school, right? Fang Wenwen said. When Chen Xian thought about it, it was true that Qwen Technology only posted recruitment posters at the Normal College, Aviation College and Police College, but it did not say that students from other schools could not apply. But in this way, the competition will become even greater. Do you think Li Jie will come today? Chen Xian is looking forward to Li Jie coming. After all, she has met him once, so maybe she can get some care. Probably not. He is so busy that he probably won't care about such a small recruitment. As soon as Fang Wenwen finished speaking, there was a sudden commotion in the direction of the entrance of the gymnasium. Then came the excited chatter from the girls. It's Li Jie. Li Zhi is here. Chen Xian and Fang Wenwen looked at each other, but they didn't expect Li Jie to actually come. Soon, the girls moved out of the way, and Li Jie, Xiao Qiao, Bai Wei, Shen Yu, the director of the Literature and Art Department, and 2 staff members from Qwen Technology walked in together. Senior, Chen Xian smiled and greeted Li Jie. Li Jie stopped, glanced at her, thought for a moment, and said, "You are Chen Xian." Hearing Li Jie call her name, Chen Xian looked surprised. "Senior, do you still remember me? Are you coming for the interview too?" Then come on." After Li Jie finished speaking, he continued to move forward. Chen Xian found that many girls around her were looking at her with envy and jealousy, and she couldn't help feeling a little proud. Li Jie didn't go far when he was stopped by a girl again. "Senior, can I ask you a question?" Li Jie looked at the girl who was speaking. She was tall, well-dressed, and had a sense of arrogance on her face. She should be the kind of girl in school who loves to show off. "Sure. Senior, my name is Suyani. I am not from the Normal College, nor the Aviation Academy, nor the Police Academy. I am from the Tourism Academy. Can I apply?" As soon as the girl named Suyani finished speaking, a dozen more girls echoed her, saying that they were also from other schools and asking if they could participate in the interview. Li Jie also guessed that there might be girls from other universities coming for interviews, but he didn't expect there would be so many. Ken. After hearing what Li Jie said, the girls from other schools showed joy, but the girls from the Normal College, the Aviation College and the Police College were all unwilling. In particular, the female students in the Normal College have the strongest opinions. Li Jie is a senior at their own school, but recruitment opportunities must be shared with girls from all universities in Hongcheng. He noticed that many girls in his school were commotion with dissatisfaction, but Li Jie ignored them and went directly into the activity room. Only when there is competition do you know how to cherish. If opportunities are left to girls in normal colleges, they will only take it for granted. Of course, Li Jie will still take care of the schoolgirls in his school. Of the 10 places recruited this time, 4 will be given to the normal college. However, this is an unspoken rule and will not be discussed publicly. When Li Jie returned to school this time, he was in charge of recruitment just as a side matter. He mainly came back to see Xiao Qiao. The president didn't know why, but suddenly there was a little quarrel. She didn't go to Shanghai during the National Day holiday, and she didn't answer calls. So, he took advantage of the fact that there was less work in the company these 2 days, came back to sleep, or tried to convince her. Arriving at the activity room, Li Jie, Xiao Qiao, Bai Wei, Shen Yu, and 2 staff members from Qwen Technology all sat down behind the recruitment table. Li Jie glanced at Xiao Qiao and found that she looked depressed. What happened to the president? At this time, Shen Yu suddenly spoke, Li Jie. Li Jie looked at her, Senior, are you okay? Shen Yu is a junior this year. The director of the Department of Literature and Art resigned, and she became the director. Shen Yu looked at Li Jie and felt very emotional. The first time she saw him, he was just a freshman who had just entered school. In the blink of an eye, in just 1 year, he became the boss of a group company with a market value of hundreds of millions, and he was someone she needed to look up to. She calmed down and said with a smile, "There's something wrong. I'm in my 3rd year of college this year and I'm about to go out for an internship. I wonder if I can go to your company." "Senior sister, of course I welcome you if you are willing to come." The relationship between Li Jie and Shen Yu cannot be said to be very good, but they can still be considered friends. It was just an internship opportunity, and of course he would not refuse it. "I don't know which department you want to go to, Senior." "I want to go to Cuckoo Entertainment." "Senior, are you interested in the entertainment industry?" "I'm still more interested in entertainment. It would be best if I could join the crew." Shen Yu is indeed interested in the entertainment industry, but with her academic qualifications and major, it is difficult to enter an entertainment company. Even if you get in, it will only be a casual job like an artist assistant, without much development. But when Li Jie entered the entertainment industry and established Cuckoo Entertainment, Shen Yu saw an opportunity. "No problem, I happen to invest in a few new dramas and are short of manpower," Li Jie said happily. If Shen Yu wants to join the crew, then put her in the production crew and do some simple work. Whether she can develop or not depends on her ability. "Li Jie, thank you," Shen Yu said thanks. When she recruited Li Jie into the art department, she just took a fancy to his talent, but she didn't expect that she would have an opportunity. After chatting with Shen Yu for a few words, Li Jie saw that the time was almost up and announced the start of the interview. The girls for the interview lined up and walked in one after another. Li Jie discovered that the quality of the new students in the normal college was obviously not good. None of them are particularly beautiful. Not to mention comparing with Zhou Ziyu, even Xiao Qiao and Lu Kaiyu cannot compare. There are 1 or 2 who are pretty good looking, but have no special features. Xiao Qiao's waist and Lu Kaiyu's legs are both outstanding. At this time, Chen Xian walked in. As soon as she came in, she bowed first and then introduced herself confidently. With Chen Xian's looks, if there were only 4 places in the previous session, she would never get her turn. Now she relies entirely on her classmates to support her, and she still stands out. After Chen Xian finished introducing herself, Li Jie said directly to her, "Chen Xian, please leave your phone number." When Chen Xian heard this, her face suddenly lit up. She had heard from her senior sister that if she left her phone number, she would have a high chance of being admitted. It seems that Li Jie still takes care of her. Thank you, senior. Chen Xian went out, and another girl walked in. There were too many girls here this time. The interview lasted from 9 a.m. to around 2 p.m. before everyone was interviewed. Of the final 10 selected girls, 4 are from the normal college, 3 are from the aviation college, and the remaining 3 are from the University of Finance and Economics, the Foreign College, and the Tourism College. After the interview, Li Jie had a meal with Xiao Jiao, Bai Wei, Shen Yu, and 2 staff members from Qwen Technology. Then, he didn't go back to the dormitory and took Xiao Jiao directly back to the rental house. Jiao Bao, what's wrong with you? Are you worried? Li Jie asked Xiao Jiao as soon as he returned to the rental house. No, Xiao Jiao forced a smile. Then why don't you go to Shanghai during your holiday? Why don't you answer my call? Hearing Li Jie ask this, Xiao Jiao remained silent. Li Jie reached out and held her in his arms. Jiao Bao, if you have something on your mind, just tell me. Husband, you want me, Xiao Jiao suddenly said softly. Li Jie glanced at Xiao Jiao, lowered his head and kissed her. Xiao Jiao hugged his neck and responded fiercely. The two were intimate for a while, then Li Jie picked up Xiao Jiao and strode towards the bedroom. More than an hour later, Li Jie lay on the bed, and Xiao Jiao lay on top of him, holding him tightly. Caressing his little girlfriend's tender and delicate back, Li Jie couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It's better to wear sleeping clothes. No, persuasion worked, and the president's mood obviously improved. Husband, besides me and Zhou Ziyu, do you have another woman? Xiao Jiao said suddenly. Li Jie gently stroked her back. It seems that Xiao Jiao guessed something and got into trouble with him. If you don't speak, you are acquiescing, Xiao Jiao said softly again. Well, there is also Lu Kaiyu. Seeing that she had guessed it, Li Jie stopped hiding it. More than that, who else? Li Jie was slightly surprised when he heard this. The matter between him and Shen Xinyi felt that it was still a secret. How did Xiao Jiao find out? Xiao Jiao raised her head and glanced at him. Husband, you promised me not to lie to me again. Sister Wei guessed right, there was not only Xiaoxi, but also Xiao, the bastard Li Jie. And Shen Xinyi. Li Jie hesitated and said. No more, Xiao Jiao asked again. It's really gone. It doesn't matter that Luan Xiaolin is his lover, Li Jie said in his heart. Husband, as long as you are willing to tell me the truth. Xiao Jiao buried her head in Li Jie's chest again. Don't hide this kind of thing from me again in the future. After. Xiao Jiao's attitude surprised Li Jie. He thought she would definitely make trouble with him, and was still thinking about how to appease her. Jiao Bao, aren't you angry? Not angry? How could she not be angry? She wanted to bite him. Thinking this in her heart, Xiao Jiao followed what Bai Wei told her. You must be a little angry. After a pause, she said, I even seriously thought about whether to leave you. When Li Jie heard this, he subconsciously hugged her a little tighter. Xiao Jiao continued, however, I have thought about it for more than a week, but I still can't bear to leave you. Finally I figured it out, husband, as long as you don't abandon me, I don't care about anything. After listening to Xiao Jiao's words, Li Jie felt moved and guilty. Among the 4 of them, Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, Lu Kaiyu, and Shen Xinyi, the only one he felt guilty about was Xiao Jiao. He had lied to her and hurt her. The guilt in his heart was even deeper now. Husband, if you don't want me anymore, just tell me directly and I will quit on my own initiative, Xiao Jiao said softly. Li Jie hugged her tightly. What nonsense are you talking about? How could I not want you? But I don't know anything and can't help you at all. Zhou Ziyu seems to be more suitable for you than me. What Xiao Jiao said was not taught by Bai Wei, but what she was most worried about, so she couldn't help but say it. What I want is a girlfriend, not a helper in my career. Okay, Stop thinking nonsense. Li Jie said this, but he calmed down in his heart. His little girlfriend seems to be competing for favor. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanjie. Chapter 316. Beep. At this time, the mobile phone placed on the bedside table vibrated. Li Jie reached for his phone and took a look and found that it was a message from Bai Wei. Meet you at 6 p.m. on the second floor of Minjiao restaurant. Don't tell Xiao Jiao. Li Jie couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Your girlfriend's best friend suddenly invites you to dinner and asks you to hide it from your girlfriend. This is too easy for people to overthink. But Bai Wei doesn't look like that. To go or not to go? Li Jie thought for a while and decided to go. Bai Wei probably just wanted to tell him something, but it was not convenient for Xiao Jiao to know. Even if he misjudged her, Bai Wei was really a well-hidden green tea, so just reject her tactfully. He would definitely not touch his girlfriend's best friend. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Li Jie arrived on the second floor of Minjiao restaurant on time. As soon as they reached the second floor, they found that Bai Wei had already arrived. She wore a white short-sleeved top and tight jeans. It's a very simple outfit, but it looks particularly elegant when worn on her. It can only be said that being tall has an advantage. Whatever you wear, you look like a walking clothes rack. Li Jie walked over and sat down opposite Bai Wei. Bai Wei, do you have anything to do with me? I have something to do, but don't worry, let's eat first, Bai Wei said with a smile. After speaking, she handed the menu to Li Jie. Li Jie glanced at Bai Wei and took the menu. I don't know if he was overthinking it, but he felt something was getting more and more wrong. After simply ordering 2 dishes, Li Jie returned the menu to Bai Wei, and Bai Wei ordered 2 more dishes. The food arrived soon, and the two of them chatted while eating. While the two were eating, Chen Xian, Tang Ting, Fang Wenwen, and another girl walked up the stairs talking and laughing. Chen Xian passed the game promotion and promoter interview, and took her roommates to have dinner together to celebrate. Isn't this Chief Li Jie? Tang Ting suddenly whispered. When Chen Xian heard this, she quickly followed her gaze and saw Li Jie and Bai Wei. Who is the girl eating with Li Jie? Another girl asked. That's Xiao Jiao's roommate, Bai Wei, Fang Wenwen said. Xiao Jiao's roommate, the other girl's tone was a little strange. Li Jie is an idol in school and an entrepreneurial genius. But he is also famous for his playfulness. Now seeing him eating alone with a very beautiful girl will inevitably make people think too much. Chen Xian hesitated whether to go over and say hello to Li Jie. At this time, Li Jie also saw Chen Xian and Tang Ting. Seeing this, Chen Xian no longer hesitated and walked over with Tang Ting, Fang Wenwen, and the others. Senior, are you coming here to eat too? Tang Ting and Fang Wenwen also called Senior. Li Jie smiled and nodded to them, and then introduced, this is Bai Wei, your senior sister. Chen Xian, Tang Ting, and Fang Wenwen all called Bai Wei senpai again. Li Jie said to Chen Xian again, Chen Xian, your promotion and publicity team is in charge of your senior sister Bai Wei. Senior sister, please take care of me from now on, Chen Xian said quickly. Bai Wei smiled and nodded to her. Chen Xian and the others were very discerning and left after saying hello. Li Jie glanced at the backs of Chen Xian and the others as they left, and said to Bai Wei, the 10 new girls recruited this time need you to worry more. Li Jie, you are too polite. You have been taking care of me, Bai Wei said with a smile. She got a lot of opportunities from Li Jie and no longer had to worry about tuition and living expenses. By the way, inform the first batch of girls that the company has invested in several new dramas. If they want to participate, they can go directly to the second round of auditions, Li Jie added as if he was remembering something. Bai Wei nodded, indicating that she understood. Of the 36 girls in the previous batch, only about 20 are still working part-time. There were 4 girls who worked for less than a month. They thought they had few opportunities to be photographed, so they stopped working. Luan Xiaolin and Huo Menjian also quit after signing with Cuckoo Entertainment. When school started in September this year, several girls who entered their junior year were busy with studies and internships and gave up part-time jobs. The remaining 20 or so girls have been working for more than half a year. This time Cuckoo Entertainment will start filming 3 dramas at the same time, Old Boy, The Heirs, and A Smile is Alluring, which requires a large number of small roles. As long as these girls go to the audition, they will not be rejected, and they will get roles with more or less roles. This can be regarded as a benefit for their elderly. When the meal was almost done, Li Jie put down his chopsticks and said to Bai Wei with a smile, "Can you tell me if there is anything you need now?" Bai Wei also put down her chopsticks, glanced at Li Jie and said, "Logically speaking, as an outsider, I shouldn't be involved in the affairs between you and Xiao Jiao. However, I think there is something I should let you know." "What's the matter?" Li Jie asked. Bai Wei didn't speak, but picked up the white notebook placed by the table and handed it to Li Jie. Li Jie took it and took a look and found that the notebook was a diary that was photocopied and bound together. September 17, 2007, the weather was sunny. Today I received the first love letter and the first rose in my life, which were sent by a boy named Li Jie. I just don't know what this boy looks like. I hope he can be more handsome. But no matter what, thank him. Is this Xiao Jiao's diary? Li Jie raised his head after reading the first page of the diary. Bai Wei nodded. I saw this diary accidentally. I thought it was necessary for you to read it, so I took the opportunity to copy the contents of the diary from the time you and Xiao Jiao met each other. After hearing what Bai Wei said, Li Jie lowered his head and continued reading the diary. September 18, 2007, the weather was sunny. When I returned to the dormitory, I found that Li Jie had sent another love letter and roses. This time there were 2 roses. On September 20, 2007, the weather was cloudy. Li Jie sent another love letter and roses. This time the roses had become 8 in a small bouquet. He is quite persistent. I am a little curious about him. September 23, 2007, the weather was sunny. Today is the 7th day, and Li Jie had someone send him a large bouquet of 64 roses. I thought he would show up suddenly one day, but I didn't expect that he would confess his love in public at the welcome party. He looks quite handsome. Paper is short but love is long. He can also write songs and is quite talented. Zhang Qiang and the others said that Li Jie would probably come to express his love to me in person tonight. If he comes, should I agree to him directly, or should I be more reserved? Li Jie looked through Xiao Jiao's diary one by one, and couldn't help but smile. Through the diary, the thoughts of a little girl who fell in love for the first time were completely revealed before his eyes. It turned out that she had fallen in love with him so early and had never considered other suitors. Seeing Li Jie looking at the diary seriously and completely immersed in it, Bai Wei got up and went to pay the bill. Before leaving, she glanced at Li Jie again, then turned around and left and went downstairs. Bai Wei listened to Xiao Jiao tell everything about Li Jie and found that he was just a playboy, but he was actually very emotional. So she wanted to create a diary to let Li Jie recall every bit of his time with Xiao Jiao. As long as Li Jie's feelings for Xiao Jiao take over again, the situation will be restored. However, after reading the diary written by Xiao Jiao, Bai Wei felt that there was no need to lie anymore. The entire diary reveals his love and dependence on Li Jie between the lines. Romantic memories and unforgettable memories. Anyone who is not a wolf-hearted person will be moved after reading it. At least she was really moved. I only hope that Li Jie can cherish Xiao Jiao after reading the diary. Xiao Jiao's diary is as cheerful and interesting as her character. It's just that when she writes a diary, it all depends on her mood. If you are interested, you will write continuously for 3 to 5 days or a week. I'm not interested anymore. I only write an article once in a week or half a month. Li Jie discovered that since the two of them were together, especially after returning from a trip to Shanghai, every entry in Xiao Qiao's diary is filled with sweetness. There is also part of the content that talks about the two people's experience of being intimate. Li Jie felt a little strange when he thought that Bai Wei might have read this diary. On December 6, 2007, the weather was sunny. Sure enough, she's not pregnant, she's sick. Damn, Li Jie actually stopped letting me drink Coke. I wanted to die. Do you want to secretly drink some Coke? So tangled. Seeing this, Li Jie remembered that pregnancy incident and couldn't help but chuckle. After turning a few more pages, it was winter vacation. 2008, January 22nd, the weather was sunny. It's another boring day, and I miss Li Jie a little bit again. Counting the days, I have only been on vacation for more than a week, and there are still more than 20 days until school starts. It feels like time is passing so slowly. I wonder what Li Jie is doing? Li Jie sighed lightly. What is he doing? At this point in time, he was immersed in Zhou Ziyu's gentle hometown. Li Jie remembered clearly that he and Zhou Ziyu had been lingering for 3 days without even leaving the room. The thought of him cheating made Xiao Qiao miss him. The guilt in his heart surged up again. School started after the winter vacation, and Li Jie flipped through his diary slower and slower. He knew that the saddest day for Xiao Qiao was coming soon. Finally, Li Jie turned to the diary. The diary was written on the second day of the rainy night. 2008, April 29th, the weather was sunny. Fraud. 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 Li Jie, a liar, how could he cheat? He should be allowed to stand in the rain until he dies. Why should I go out? But seeing him suffer, my heart aches. I'm useless, I'm so useless. The handwriting in this diary is messy and scrawled, and it can be seen that Xiao Qiao's mood is extremely unstable. A diary of only 300 to 400 words, but Li Jie read it for a long time. As he turned page after page, the more he looked at it, the more uncomfortable he felt, and the more uncomfortable he felt. If the previous content is called a love diary, then the following content is a lovelorn diary. Li Jie thought Xiao Qiao had recovered from his injury, but in fact he had not. In the following diary, the joy and sweetness between the lines no longer exist, but become dull and tangled. It's like going from a color photo to black and white. In the past few months, Li Jie always felt that something was missing from Xiao Qiao. Thinking about it now, she no longer felt happy from the bottom of her heart. The smile is no longer so contagious, and the cute and lively energy in the body is also missing. It was him who personally lost the girl he loved the most. At this moment, Li Jie felt an unprecedented sense of regret. He actually didn't like her that much anymore. Now that I think about it, it's really not a thing. Just because you are rich, you will unscrupulously let down and hurt the people you like. He only cares about money and wants to solve everything with money. Recently, he has been really obsessed with money. Think about Xiao Qiao, who is estranged from him, and then think about Shen Xinyi, who is somewhat alienated. If this continues, everyone who really likes him will run away, leaving only some money-worshipping women around him. Shanghai Stock Exchange. Zhou Ziyu, who was sitting on the sofa with Zhou Qing while watching TV and chatting, couldn't help but sneeze. Xiao, what's wrong with you? Do you have a cold? Zhou Qing asked. No, it's just that my nose suddenly felt a little itchy. Zhou Ziyu rubbed her nose. Zhou Qing looked at her daughter and was extremely happy. My daughter has become a popular best-selling author, and many relatives and friends whom I have lost contact with have called me to ask about this. She had never felt so proud. In fact, not only Zhou Qing, but also many classmates and friends from Zhou Ziyu who had no contact with her also called her or sent messages on QQ. Some junior high school classmates from Northeast Spring City even contacted her. As for her college classmates, after Cao Qian heard that Zhou Ziyu was Chen Yu, the author of Wei Wei, she was so excited that she couldn't even keep her world-weary look on her face. During the video, she kept complaining that she was hiding the truth from her. After Li Jie closed the diary, he realized that Bai Wei had already left. It was already past 8 o'clock in the evening. He read the diary for an hour or two. Li Jie took out his mobile phone and sent a message to Bai Wei, "Thank you." He really wanted to thank Bai Wei. If she hadn't shown him this diary, he wouldn't have woken up so quickly. Li Jie returned to the rental house carrying a large bottle of Coke and saw Xiao Jiao doing the question seriously. The president actually took the initiative to learn? It's so rare. Li Jie walked to her and took a look and found that she was doing English exercises. "Why did you remember to do the questions?" Xiao Jiao raised his head and smiled, "I want to take the postgraduate entrance examination." Postgraduate entrance examination? Li Jie couldn't help but be a little surprised after hearing this. "Don't you want to take the postgraduate entrance examination?" "I want to take the exam now." Xiao Jiao paused and said seriously, "Husband, I understand. Even if I can't help you with your career, at least I can't be a burden to you and cause you trouble. I will work hard to make progress." After listening to Xiao Jiao's words, Li Jie couldn't help feeling a little emotional. His little girlfriend had grown up. "Stop studying now, relax, let's watch a movie together." "I also bought you a Coke," he said, gesturing to the Coke in his hand. Xiao Jiao made a soft sound and put down the pen. She actually guessed that he was coming back soon, so she found the exercise book and worked on it for a while. Li Jie opened his laptop and found a new horror movie. Then the two sat down on the sofa together, watching a movie and drinking Coke. "Husband, do you drink Coke too?" Seeing Li Jie drinking Coke, Xiao Jiao said a little surprised. "Let's have a drink with you. Don't you say drinking Coke is unhealthy? It's okay to drink once in a while." At this time, a terrifying picture suddenly appeared on the computer screen. Xiao Jiao was so frightened that she shrank into Li Jie's arms. Li Jie smiled and hugged her. Maybe his relationship with Xiao Jiao will never be as close as before, but at least he will treat her well and try to make her truly happy. Xiao Jiao huddled in Li Jie's arms and looked up at him. Sister Wei is really amazing. When Li Jie came back tonight, she clearly felt the change in him, as if the two of them were back to the days when they were together again. If the two of them are really the same as before. There is no Zhou Ziyu, no Lu Kaiyu, no Shen Xinyi. How wonderful that would be. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 317. The next day, Xiao Jiao and Li Jie returned to Shanghai together, and she also hooked up with Bai Wei. Bai Wei didn't want to go at first, but Xiao Jiao insisted on inviting her to play in Shanghai. Even Li Jie persuaded her to go and have fun. Li Jie didn't mean to take advantage of Xiao Jiao's best friend, he just wanted to thank Bai Wei. If it weren't for her, he wouldn't be able to bridge the gap with Xiao Jiao. When the plane took off and taxied, making a huge noise, Li Jie reached out and covered Xiao Jiao's ears to help relieve her tinnitus. Xiao Jiao looked at Li Jie and couldn't help but feel a hint of sweetness in her heart. She recalled the first time the two of them traveled to Shanghai. Li Jie also took care of her in this way, soothing her nervousness when she was taking a plane for the first time. Bai Wei, who was sitting aside, glanced at Li Jie and Xiao Jiao who were reliving old memories, and shook her head slightly in her heart. She didn't want to come, it seemed superfluous to be sandwiched between the two of them. More than an hour later, the plane arrived at Hongqiao Airport. Li Jie walked out of the airport with Xiao Jiao and Bai Wei, got into the Audi A8L driven by Shen Base-han, and returned to Xiao Jiao's small duplex apartment. After returning to the apartment, Li Jie said to Xiao Jiao, "I wanted to cook a meal for you personally, but something suddenly happened in the company and I needed to go over and deal with it." "It's okay, husband, go and do your work," Xiao Jiao said very understandingly. Li Jie nodded, "Then you stay with Bai Wei. When I come back in the evening, I will play with you all." After Li Jie left, Xiao Jiao hugged Bai Wei excitedly. "Sister Wei, thank you. The method Bai Wei taught her was really useful. Li Jie told her last night that she is the most special and no one can replace her." He also proactively promised that he would never look for another woman again. In fact, after feeling that Li Jie treated her as before, Xiao Jiao didn't mind the existence of Lu Kaiyu and Shen Xinyi so much. But not Zhou Ziyu. Never forgive. Whenever Xiao Jiao thinks of Zhou Ziyu, her teeth itch. It can only be said that people's bottom line is getting lower step by step. After gradually accepting the existence of Zhou Ziyu and Lu Kaiyu, it is not so difficult for Xiao Jiao to accept the addition of Shen Xinyi. After hearing what Xiao Jiao said, Bai Wei smiled, just a smile, and didn't say anything. How can you trust a man's guarantee? Li Jie was just moved and temporarily calmed down. However, she didn't say anything. It's good for Xiao Jiao to be a little more innocent like this. She could tell that Li Jie was gentle on the outside, but he was strong on the inside and had a strong desire for control. He preferred girls who were more innocent and silly. Bai Wei looked around and then said, "Xiao Jiao, is this the house that Li Jie gave you?" In Shanghai, most ordinary people cannot afford a 140 square meter duplex high-end apartment in their lifetime. "Yeah," Xiao Jiao smiled and nodded. She loved the house. "Sister Wei, let me show you the room," Xiao Jiao said, taking Bai Wei's hand and walking to the guest bedroom. Li Jie left the apartment and got into the Audi A8L again. But instead of returning to the company, he asked Shen Base-han to drive to a nearby community not far away. After reading Xiao Jiao's diary, Li Jie was very moved and regretted it for a moment. But he calmed down and thought about it. If he were asked to choose again, the result would not change much. There is no way he would give up Zhou Ziyu, Lu Kaiyu, and Shen Xinyi. Besides, even if he was only with Xiao Jiao, wouldn't there be conflicts between the two? It's out of the question. No matter how good the relationship between two people is, if they stay together for a long time, the passion will fade, they will inevitably get tired of each other, and conflicts will gradually increase. This is not that Li Jie is looking for reasons to excuse himself, but this is the fact. He and Xiao Jiao have been together for a year, and they haven't gotten tired of each other yet, and they haven't had any conflicts. To a large extent, this is because external contradictions have diverted internal contradictions. Just like many girls, they don't like honest men, but they like scumbags. An honest man has no girls around him and does not need to compete, so that girls will not feel the sense of crisis. There are many girls around scumbag men, and fighting for the men makes girls feel more accomplished and cherish them more. This is why many girls forgive cheating scumbags over and over again, just because they have paid too much and the sunk costs are too high, and they are not willing to give up. The same goes for Xiao Jiao. If you ask her to give up Li Jie now and give her life to Zhou Ziyu, how can she be willing to do so? However, if Li Jie were to do it again, he would definitely not be so indulgent, and would pay more attention to the feelings of Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, Lu Kaiyu, and Shen Xinyi. He will not provoke Suyisha and Luan Xiaolin again. He really doesn't like Suyisha and Luan Xiaolin very much, but more just covets their bodies. The crew of Crazy Lottery. Luan Xiaolin was sitting on a recliner in the actor's rest area, reading a script. Suddenly she felt her nose was a little itchy and couldn't help but sneeze. At this time, a fat girl in her early 20s came over with a bottle of water and said, "Sister Xiaolin, drink water." Luan Xiaolin nodded, then took the water handed over by the girl, opened it and took a sip. This fat girl is called Zheng Hui, and she is her assistant. In addition to the assistant, the company also arranged a nanny car, a driver, and a makeup artist for Luan Xiaolin. This kind of treatment is unique in Cuckoo Entertainment, and she is like the top sister of the company. However, there was a lot of discussion about Luan Xiaolin in the company. Many people said that she was able to get so many resources because she got close to the company boss. Otherwise, in terms of appearance and condition, the first sister should be Wang Zhaining. Luan Xiaolin didn't take these rumors seriously at all. It was her ability to catch up with Li Jie. It doesn't matter that Wang Zhaining is prettier than her, it's not just that she is suppressed by her. Putting down the water, Luan Xiaolin picked up the script and started reading it. This is not the script of Crazy Lottery, Nightclub, but a new play arranged for her by the company, an idol drama The Heirs. Luan Xiaolin heard from Li Jie that this drama was a key project of the company and might become a hit. This made her fall in love with the show. It's a pity that her role is just that of the second female lead. Luan Xiaolin also understood that Li Jie was right, her image was not suitable for playing a heroine, but she was still a little unwilling to do so. I don't know what Li Jie is doing. She was too busy filming during this period and had no chance to have a private meeting with Li Jie. Sister Xiaolin, Yang Hao came over and greeted Luan Xiaolin with a smile. He also played a role in the movie, Fat Man, Thief Can Eat That, one of the 3 robbers who robbed a convenience store. This role doesn't have many roles, but Yang Hao doesn't mind that the role is small. Luan Xiaolin glanced at Yang Hao but said nothing. She was a little disgusted with this fat man. He was flattering to others, but bossy and tyrannical to others. He was a villain. Noticing Luan Xiaolin's cold attitude, Yang Hao lowered his voice and changed his title, sister-in-law. Luan Xiaolin was startled by the sister-in-law's call. She looked at Yang Hao again and suddenly felt that he was a bit pleasing to her eyes. What's wrong with you? Seeing that Luan Xiaolin didn't refute, Yang Hao understood immediately. This Luan Xiaolin really had an affair with Brother Jie. In fact, it was not just Luan Xiaolin who looked down on Yang Hao also looked down on Luan Xiaolin. I usually put on a cool look, but I might be more proactive and coquettish in bed. Thinking this in his heart, Yang Hao said with a smile, sister-in-law, do you know what Brother Jie is busy with? Yang Hao wanted to have a romantic relationship with Li Jietuo, but now he has fewer and fewer opportunities to see each other. If this continues, the relationship between the two will gradually become estranged. How will he get resources? I heard that the company has invested in several new dramas. There's been a lot going on in his company recently. What, you have something to do with him? Luan Xiaolin didn't know what Li Jie was up to. However, the momentum cannot be weak. Actually, it's nothing, except Brother Jie's birthday is coming soon, so I also prepared a gift. I wonder if I could trouble sister-in-law to help me deliver the gift to Brother Jie, Yang Hao said, subconsciously taking a look at Luan Xiaolin's beautiful legs. These long legs are long, slender, white, and straight. It's so fun to play with. It's better to be rich and powerful. There is no shortage of beautiful girls, you can have fun however you want. However, Yang Hao didn't dare to look any further. He glanced at it and quickly looked away. If Luan Xiaolin found out and blew Li Jie's pillow on the bed, he would be dead. Luan Xiaolin glanced at Yang Hao, nodded and said, okay. She didn't know what Yang Hao was thinking. If she knew, she would have kicked him to death, let alone giving him gifts. Of course, she wouldn't move her feet and would only let her assistant Zheng Hui kick her. The Audi A8L drove into a good quality community. Li Jie sent Chen Base-han away and went upstairs with a large bouquet of roses. Ding dong. Hearing the doorbell ringing, Shen Xinyi, who was sitting on the sofa holding a laptop while stealing food, put the computer aside, got up and walked to the door while asking, who is it? Miss Shen, right? I'm from a flower shop and I'm here to give you flowers. The voice of the person outside the door was a little hoarse. But I didn't order any flowers. Did you send the wrong ones? It was ordered by a gentleman named Li. Mr. Li? Li Jie ordered it? After hearing this, Shen Xian opened the door. Then she saw Li Jie standing outside the door holding a large bouquet of roses, looking at her with a smile. Li Jie, you're here, Shen Xinyi said in surprise. Li Jie looked at Shen Xinyi. She wore a blue t-shirt on the upper body and a pair of denim shorts on the lower body, revealing a pair of white, tender, slender but voluptuous legs. His little girlfriend has a pure face and a good figure, she is perfect. This is for you. Li Jie handed the rose to her. Why did you think of giving me flowers? Shen Xian smiled and took the flowers. When Li Jie heard this, he couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. He and Shen Xinyi have been together for 3 or 4 months, but he has yet to send her flowers, not even on the day he confessed his love. How perfunctory. Think about the first time when school started, when you met Shen Xinyi. He was the most fond of her at that time. Even more than Xiaoqiao. Why do you lose interest in others after you get it? Seeing how happy Shen Xian was after receiving the flowers, Li Jie said seriously, Hey, dear, I will send you flowers often in the future. Hearing what he said, the joy on Shen Xian's face became even stronger. Li Jie thought of something and said, however, you were too careless. You opened the door as soon as it was called. What if a bad person came? I thought you sent someone to send flowers, Shen Xinyi said in defense. Li Jie said as he hugged her and walked into the house, you can't open the door hastily. You live alone as a girl, so you must be careful. I know, Shen Xian said with a smile. The two came to the sofa and sat down. Li Jie glanced at Shen Xinyi who was playing with the bouquet of roses, thought for a while and asked, my dear, when did you start to like me? After hearing this, Shen Xian paused while playing with the roses, and then said with a smile, don't ask me, I'll ask you first, when did you like me? The first time I saw you. Li Jie smiled and stretched out his hand to hold Shen Xian in his arms. This answer clearly exceeded Shen Xinyi's expectations, and she couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Then why did you? Shen Xinyi didn't finish her words, but Li Jie understood what she meant. I also hesitated. I can only say that it was a mistake. Li Jie's tone was a bit sighing. After saying that, he added, okay, I'm done, it's your turn. Shen Xinyi smiled with a complicated expression, I won't tell you. Actually, I can guess it even if you don't say it. Li Jie glanced at her and said. Then take a guess. You also fell in love with me the first time we met, right? Seeing Li Jie's confident look, Shen Xinyi couldn't help but hit him and said, arrogant. Li Jie was actually joking. However, after carefully thinking about how he met Shen Xinyi, he suddenly realized that Shen Xinyi might have liked him very early. It was not only Zhou Ziyu but also Shen Guiguai who took advantage of the opportunity of taking elective courses to get close to him. Li Jie was really moved when he thought that Shen Xinyi had been waiting for him silently for more than half a year after he got a girlfriend. Xinyi, change your clothes and I'll take you to dinner. Shen Xian first put the roses in the vase, then put on a blue floral dress and high heels. After she put on the high heels, her height was over 166 centimeters, and she looked very good standing next to Li Jie, who was over 178 centimeters tall. Tie your hair up, Li Jie said, looking at her long hair. How to pierce it? Go ahead and get your hair done. I like to see you get your hair done. Good. Shen Xinyi took a hair tie and tied it on his hair. He did it a few times with skillful techniques, and a bald head came out. Let's go, she smiled and hugged Li Jie's arm. The two went downstairs together and got into the Audi A8L. Li Jie started the car and left the community. Driving to Zhongning Road Commercial Street, he did not take Shen Xian directly to the restaurant, but took her to a large shopping mall first. Walk into the mall and come to the jewelry counter. Without waiting for the sales lady to greet him, Li Jie said directly, "Let's take a look at the ring." He hadn't given Shen Xian a ring yet, so he brought her over to choose one. The young sales lady listened and said with a smile, "Sir, if you want to buy a ring, I recommend you to take a look at this new couple diamond ring. It is beautiful, fashionable, and not expensive. It is very suitable for young couples like you." She took out a pair of diamond rings from the counter. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanjie. Chapter 318. Facing the sales lady's promotion, Li Jie did not refuse directly like before. Instead, he took the diamond ring and looked at it. The diamond ring is very delicate and beautiful, but the diamond looks a bit small. What kind of precept is this? The sales lady said, "Sir, this is a 50-cent diamond ring, a C4 standard high-quality diamond. Now I have a promotion in the store and the discount is very strong. After discount, it only costs 26,000. Li Jie put down the diamond ring and said, "This diamond is a bit small." Upon hearing that Li Jie thought the diamond was small, the sales lady smiled even more enthusiastically, "Sir, if you think the diamond is small, you can take a look at this 70-point diamond ring. We are also doing activities." As she spoke, she took out another pair of diamond rings from the counter. Li Jie shook his head, "Don't get broken diamonds, get ones over 1 carat, and bring out a few more styles for my girlfriend to choose from." The sales lady was overjoyed when she heard this and said quickly, "Okay, sir." She saw that Li Jie and Shen Xian were dressed like young lovers who were still studying, so she didn't dare to recommend too expensive rings for fear of scaring them away. Now it seems that this boy should be the second generation of rich people. When Li Jiegong had money, he bought a few sets of luxury brand clothes to show off his appearance, but now he wears clothes more and more casually. He wears whatever is comfortable and does not care about the brand. To be honest, many big-name clothes are extremely expensive and ugly. Li Jie's casual attire today was from a niche fashion brand chosen by Zhou for him. Ordinary people would only think it was good, but they wouldn't know how expensive it was. The sales lady brought out 5 or 6 diamond rings. The diamonds were all over 1 carat. The largest diamond was 1.86 carats. Li Jie motioned for Shen Xian to choose. Looking at so many diamond rings, Shen Xinyi was a little dazzled. She looked at Li Jie and said, "I think they are all beautiful." Li Jie picked up the largest 1.86 carat diamond ring and looked at it carefully. He felt that this diamond ring had the best craftsmanship, purity, and was also the most beautiful. However, there is only one ring of this type, not a pair. How much does this ring cost? This is the most precious diamond ring in our store. It's called blooming. It's as beautiful as the moment when fireworks bloom. The price is 188,866 yuan, said the sales lady. The largest diamond ring in your store is only 1.8 carats, Li Jie asked. The sales lady smiled and explained, "Sir, the value of a diamond depends not only on its size, but also on a balanced consideration of its size, clarity, color, cut and many other aspects. The same 1.8 carat diamond ring, a low-grade one, can be bought for only 100,000, or even 50,000 or 60,000, but the quality and production process of the diamond are incomparable to our diamond ring. Of course, if you think this diamond ring is too small, we also have larger diamond rings, both 2 carats and 3 carats, but it will take some time to adjust the stock." Li Jie nodded, "Is there any discount on this diamond ring?" "Sir, if you really want to buy it, I can give you the biggest discount, 170,000. After saying that, the sales lady added, "High-end diamonds cannot be discounted as much as low-end diamonds." "Swipe your card." Li Jie took out his bank card and handed it to the other party. "Okay, The sales lady didn't expect Li Jie to be so happy. She was stunned for a moment and then quickly took the bank card with both hands. Li Jie took the ring out of the box, then grabbed Shen Xinyi's left hand and put the ring on her ring finger. The 1.86-carat diamond ring was already quite large, and it looked particularly beautiful on Shen Xin's white, tender, slender, and voluptuous little hands. However, wearing this big bright diamond ring on your hand can easily attract thieves? The sales lady smiled and complimented, "Sir, your girlfriend not only looks beautiful, but also has nice hands. This diamond ring is perfect for her." Li Jie glanced at the sales lady, then smiled and said to Shen Xinyi, "Do you like it?" "Yes," Shen Xinyi nodded vigorously, his face full of joy. Li Jie said with a slight sigh, "This is my first time giving a diamond ring to a girl. Buying diamonds means paying an IQ tax." He has never bought diamond rings for Xiaoqiao, Zhouziu, or Lu Kaiyu, but he made an exception for Shen Xinyi. It can be regarded as a little compensation for treating her badly. Shen Xin's eyes couldn't help but light up when he heard each one. "Really? You haven't bought anything for Xiaoqiao or the others?" Li Jie smiled and nodded. "Diamonds have been hyped up, and the prices are not realistic. In my opinion, buying a diamond ring means paying IQ tax, so I bought gold rings for Xiaoqiao and the others, making an exception for you. If Xiaoqiao and the others see Shen Guiguai's diamond ring, they will definitely be jealous. Girls all like shiny things, no matter how valuable they are." When he said this, the joy on Shen Xin's face became even more uncontrollable. She thought for a while and said, "How about we return the diamond ring and buy a gold ring too?" The sales lady on the side heard this and said quickly, "After payment, if there are no quality problems, returns are not allowed." Her commission for this order was 5 to 6,000, and it would be gone as soon as she returned the item. Seeing that Shen Xin said he wanted to return the diamond ring but was reluctant to take it off his hand, Li Jie, "I still don't know what she thinks. I bought this specially for you, how can I return it?" He paused for a moment and then said, "For you, I will pay the IQ tax." Shen Xin touched the diamond ring and glanced at Li Jie with a smile, feeling extremely sweet. After buying the diamond ring, Li Jie bought a pair of gold rings, and also bought many gold jewelry such as necklaces, bracelets, anklets, and earrings for Shen Xinyi. After coming out of the mall, Li Jie took Shen Xinyi to a Western restaurant. Sitting by the window, the two of them ate Western food, sipped red wine, and had piano accompaniment. While Shen Xin was eating, he glanced at the diamond ring on his left hand from time to time. Li Jie, who was sitting opposite her, looked at it and couldn't help but shook his head in his heart. This broken stone, no, the diamond ring is a bit too lethal. He had never seen her so happy. Li Jie took the napkin and leaned forward to help Shen Xin wipe the oil stains from his mouth. She eats very cutely, her little mouth moves bulgingly, and her expression is very satisfied. "Why don't you eat?" Seeing Li Jie staring at her, Shen Xin asked with a smile. Li Jie smiled and cut a piece of steak to eat. While eating, he subconsciously glanced at Xin's rosy mouth. He is going to make some excessive demands tonight. Shen Guiguai won't refuse, right? After finishing his meal, Li Jie looked at the time and found that it was already past 1 p.m. "Xinyi, how many subjects have you passed?" "I failed the second test once," Shen Xinyi said, a little worried. "It's okay, I'll take you to practice driving more during this time," Li Jie comforted her with a smile. As a coach, he has no sense of responsibility at all, and he has never practiced driving with others a few times. The two returned to the parking spot and got into the car. Li Jie said to Shen Xinyi, "Xinyi, I will take you to practice driving for a while. The company has an entertainment event in the evening, and I may not be able to come over to accompany you until very late." He would also spend time with Xiaoqiao and her best friends at night. "Okay, then I'll wait for you," Shen Xinyi nodded obediently. Driving to the suburbs and finding an open space, Li Jie and Shen Xinyi exchanged places and taught her how to drive. Shen Xinyi had never driven an Audi A8L before and was very unfamiliar with it when he first started driving it. Under Li Jie's guidance, he drove for a while before he got used to the car. She mainly practiced reversing into the garage. During the exam, she just backed the car into the warehouse and couldn't get it in. Li Jie drew a parking space and asked Shen Xinyi to practice reversing. Seeing that Shen Xian fell down several times and did not back the car into the parking space, Li Jie personally demonstrated and taught her how to turn the steering wheel step by step. After demonstrating it twice, she was finally able to back the car into the parking space. After practicing for more than 40 minutes, Li Jie said to Shen Xinyi, "Xinyi, take a rest." Okay, after backing the car into the parking space again, Shen Xian let go of the steering wheel and let out a breath. The Audi A8L was too big and it was very difficult for her to drive. Li Jie took a bottle of water, opened it and handed it to her. "Here, have some water." As soon as Shen Xian took the water, he drank it and lifted his legs up to rub them. "My feet and legs are sore from pressing the clutch." Li Jie pulled Shen Xinyi's left leg over and massaged her. "These legs are white, tender and slender, and feel fleshy to the touch. When you play with them, no, they feel good when you massage them." After massaging his legs, he took off his flesh-colored boat socks and massaged Shen Xinyi's feet. Her feet are very small, about size 35, white and tender, and her fingernails are painted with pink nail polish, which is very cute. Li Jie massaged very seriously, playing with it carefully. No, he massaged every part. Shen Xinyi's feet were a little itchy because of him, and he shrank his legs reflexively. Her face was a little red. "No need to press, my feet are no longer sore. It should still be a little sour." Li Jie said, put his fingers under his nose and smelled it, then said with a smile, "It's really a bit sour." Shen Xian's face turned even redder after hearing each one. She pulled her feet back hard, smiled and said coquettishly, "My feet are not sore. My dear, don't be embarrassed to admit it, I won't dislike you. Screw you." After resting for a while, Li Jie continued to teach Shen Guiguai how to drive. The two of them drove. No, they practiced driving until about 5 p.m., and then Li Jie sent Shen Xinyi home. After coming out of Shen Xinyi's place, Li Jie did not go directly to Xiaoqiao. Instead, he went to the hotel to get an hourly room, took a shower, changed clothes and then drove back to Xiaoqiao Na. After picking up Xiaoqiao and Baiwei, Li Jie took them to the Bund. The three of them walked along the Huangpu River together, enjoying the wind and admiring the night view of the Bund. While Li Jie accompanied Xiaoqiao and Baiwei to visit the Bund, Zhou Ziyu also came to the Bund with Zhou Qing. Zhou Ziyu wore a long black waist skirt and big black sunglasses, looking sexy and mysterious. Since Zhou Ziyu became popular on the internet, she is often recognized by people when walking on the road, so she will cover up when she goes out recently. However, although sunglasses covered most of her face, you can tell from her figure alone that she is a beautiful woman. In addition, Zhou Qing is mature, charming beside her. As the mother and daughter walked on the road, they turned heads very frequently. "Let's sit in a coffee shop," Zhou Ziyu said to Zhou Qing. The two had just come out of the cinema. Zhou Ziyu originally wanted to go home directly, but Zhou Qing insisted on dragging her to the Bund for a walk. Zhou Qing is addicted to visiting the Bund. As long as she is in Shanghai, she will come to the Bund every night for a while. Zhou Qing did not respond to her daughter's words, but looked in one direction. After Zhou Ziyu noticed it, he also followed her gaze and looked over. Then he saw Li Jie, Xiaoqiao and Baiwei not far away. Zhou Qing glanced at her daughter, "Who are the two girls with Ziaji?" Zhou Ziyu's eyes were still on Li Jie, Xiaoqiao and Baiwei, without moving away. "The one with the flat chest is Xiaoqiao, and the other one is Xiaoqiao's roommate named Baiwei. She is also very damaged." She can obviously be distinguished by her height, but she has to lift her breasts. Xiao Jiao, who was holding Li Zhe's arm and joking with him, suddenly sneezed. Do you feel a little cold? Li Zhe took a look at Xiao Jiao's outfit, short sleeves and skirt. In October in Shanghai, it gets a bit cold at night, especially on the riverside where the wind is strong. A little bit, Xiao Jiao said with a smile. Then let me hug you, Li Zhe said, reaching out and picking Xiao Jiao into his arms, hugging her and walking forward. He was also wearing short sleeves and had no clothes to put on Xiao Jiao, so he could only use his body temperature to keep her warm. Bai Wei, who was one step behind and walking behind the two of them, sighed softly in her heart. Did these two people drag her out together because they wanted her to watch their show of affection? So she is Xiao Jiao. She is indeed very cute and lovable, Zhou Qing commented. Then she added, however, I feel that Bai Wei is more beautiful and has a better temperament. Compared with the cute and lively Xiao Jiao, the tall and beautiful Bai Wei is even more outstanding in the eyes of most people. Seeing Li Zhe and the others walking away, Zhou Ziyu looked back. That Bai Wei is not simple, she said softly. After walking by the river for a while, Li Zhe took Xiao Jiao and Bai Wei to the Oriental Pearl Tower. Sitting in the 267-meter-high revolving restaurant, the three of them ate while admiring the beautiful scenery on both sides of the Pujiang River outside the window. Bai Wei glanced at Li Zhe and Xiao Jiao. Xiao Jiao told her everything about her and Li Zhe. She knew that Li Zhe brought Xiao Jiao here to relieve the sweet memories between the two. Then the next stop should be the Old Captain Youth Hotel? As expected by Bai Wei, after walking down the Oriental Pearl Tower, Li Zhe took them to the Old Captain Youth Hotel. Walking into the Old Captain Youth Hotel, the three of them took the elevator to the bar on the top floor. Li Zhe made a reservation in advance, and under the guidance of the waiter, the three of them came to the viewing terrace and sat down at an empty table. Bai Wei, what are you drinking? Li Zhe asked Bai Wei. I can drink anything, Bai Wei said with a smile. Then try the specialty mojito of this store. After Li Zhe finished speaking, he turned to the waiter and said, 1 mojito and 2 cokes. Going to a bar to drink coke? Bai Wei was a little confused. She looked at Xiao Jiao and saw her looking at Li Zhe with a smile on her face. Drinking coke was the first time the two of them came to this bar, and Li Zhe had made a joke with her. Xiao Jiao had forgotten about this. She didn't expect that Li Zhe would still remember it. The three of them sat at the bar for an hour. Seeing that it was almost 10 p.m., Li Zhe sent Xiao Jiao and Bai Wei back to the apartment. When he returned to the apartment and saw that Li Zhe was about to leave, Xiao Jiao couldn't help but ask, hubby, aren't you staying here tonight? I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 319. Li Zhe glanced at Bai Wei, then smiled and said to Xiao Jiao, you two can talk more tonight. I'll live in Lujia's Y. Okay, Xiao Jiao had no choice but to nod after hearing what he said. After Li Zhe left, Bai Wei said to Xiao Jiao, I'm going to take a bath. When Xiao Jiao heard this, she smiled and said, Sister Wei, how about we wash together? We can also rub each other's backs. Then, okay, Bai Wei nodded hesitantly. Somehow, she felt that Xiao Jiao's eyes were a little strange. After taking toiletries and a change of underwear, Xiao Jiao and Bai Wei went to the bathroom together. After taking a bath, Bai Wei came out of the bathroom wrapped in a bath towel, her face red. Xiao Jiao looked at Bai Wei with envy on his face. Sister Wei's figure is so good. She glanced down at herself and sighed. The gap is too big. I'm going to bed first. Bai Wei felt a little uncomfortable when Xiao Jiao saw her, so she prepared to go back to the guest bedroom. Sister Wei, will you sleep with me? Xiao Jiao reached out and held her. Let's sleep separately. Bai Wei declined. She was worried that Xiao Jiao would do something else. Let's sleep together. Let's chat more. Xiao Jiao held her hand and didn't let go. Is it okay? Bai Wei couldn't resist Xiao Jiao's coquettish entanglement, so she was pulled to the master bedroom upstairs. The master bedroom is very large, 30 square meters. The bed is also very large, a 2.2-meter large bed. The room was decorated in a high-end style, with a small round table and 2 wooden chairs in front of the floor-to-ceiling window next to the bed. There are teapots and teacups on the table, and you can sit here and enjoy the scenery outside the window while sipping tea. As soon as he arrived in the bedroom, Xiao Jiao took off his bath towel, leaving only 2 small underwear, then pulled back the quilt and got in. Bai Wei also pulled back the quilt and got into bed. Seeing that Bai Wei was still wrapped in a bath towel, Xiao Jiao said, "Sister Wei, please take off the bath towel too. It's not comfortable to sleep in it." "Okay," Bai Wei hesitated and took off the bath towel, leaving only 2 ordinary white underwear. Taking a look at Bai Wei's chest, Xiao Jiao felt envious again. However, Bai Wei quickly pulled up the quilt, covering her beautiful figure. After Bai Wei lay down, she adjusted the position of the pillow. Suddenly, she was stunned for a moment. There was a 3-4 centimeters long hair on the pillow. It was black and shiny and looked like a man's hair. This is where Li Jie sleeps, his pillow. Thinking that she was sleeping in Li Jie's place and sleeping on his pillow, Bai Wei felt a little strange in her heart. Just when she was stunned, Xiao Jiao came over and hugged her. "Xiao Jiao, you hugged me, why did you take off your underwear?" Bai Wei was surprised to find that Xiao Jiao was not wearing underwear. "It's uncomfortable to sleep in underwear," Xiao Jiao said with a smile. "Sister Wei, why don't you take it off too? Don't you feel uncomfortable being so restrained?" she said, reaching out to untie Bai Wei's underwear. Bai Wei quickly grabbed her hand. "Xiao Jiao, don't do this. Sister Wei, it's not good for your health to be restrained like this. Don't do it, I'll do it myself." Bai Wei also took off her underwear and put it aside. Xiao Jiao came over again and hugged her. "Xiao Jiao, stop making trouble," Bai Wei pushed her away. "We are all girls, what are you afraid of?" Xiao Jiao said a little funny. Bai Wei glanced at her and thought to herself that girls shouldn't be too close to each other. Otherwise something is wrong. "Sister Wei, why do you have such a good figure?" Xiao Jiao asked after thinking about it. "Do you know of any ways to get in better shape?" Bai Wei shook her head lightly. "The figure is too good, but the burden is heavy and troublesome. It's quite annoying. I would rather be like you." Xiao Jiao was stunned by Versailles and was speechless. It's true that a full man doesn't know that a hungry man is hungry. She also really wanted to have such troubles. When Li Jie returned to Shenzhenyi's residence, he found her wearing a pink suspender nightgown and watching TV in the living room. "Li Jie, you are back." Seeing Li Jie open the door and come in, Shen Xian stood up from the sofa with a look of joy on his face. Li Jie walked to Shenzhenyi with a smile, hugged her and sat down, letting her sit on his lap. "It's a bit boring to be alone, isn't it?" "Fine." The two of them sat together for a while, and then Shen Xian said as if he remembered something, "I made soup for you, please drink some." "You can also cook soup." Li Jie was a little surprised. Among the 4 of Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, Lu Kaiyu, and Shenzhenyi, only Zhou Ziyu can cook. As for Luan Xiaolin, she actually used cold water to cook her dumplings. "I made it according to the recipe. How do you like it?" As soon as Shen Xian finished speaking, he went to the kitchen and brought out a bowl of soup. Li Jie took the bowl and found the white fungus, red dates, and wolfberry soup. He took a sip and found that it tasted pretty good. "It's just that there's too much rock sugar, it's a bit too sweet." "How's it going?" Shenzhenyi asked expectantly. "It tastes good," Li Jie said with a smile. "Then drink more," Shen Xian said with a smile on his face. After drinking the soup, Li Jie went to take a bath. After taking a shower, he came out of the bathroom and saw that the TV was turned off and Shen Xinyi was no longer in the living room. Li Jie turned off the lights in the living room and went to the master bedroom, where he found her leaning on the bedside, playing on the computer. "Have you finished taking a shower?" Seeing Li Jie come in, Shen Xian raised his head and said with a smile. Li Jie lifted the quilt and got on the bed from the other side. Then he looked over and found that she was stealing food again. He took her computer away and set it aside. "Stop stealing food, I'll take you to play a more fun game." "What game?" Shen Xinyi looked innocent, as if he didn't understand. Li Jie smiled and didn't answer. He lowered his head and kissed her. The atmosphere was good today and it was time to teach her real driving skills. Suddenly, he was stunned for a moment and stopped. "My dear, are your relatives here?" "Yeah," Shen Xian hummed slightly, not understanding why he stopped. Obviously she hasn't realized that the scumbag, no, it's Li Jie who is up to no good. Li Jie sighed softly in his heart. "If you had told me that your relatives were coming, they wouldn't have come. Of course, this is just a joke, he is not that bad. However, it is indeed a bit disappointing." On the 5th, 6th, and 7th, the last 3 days of the National Day holiday, Li Jie mainly spent time with Xiao Qiao and Shen Xinyi. He and Xiao Qiao, accompanied by Wei to visit scenic spots, taught Shen Xinyi how to drive, and completely ignored the company's affairs. In the past 3 days, Li Jie stayed at Shen Xinyi's place for 2 nights and stayed at Xiao Qiao's place for only 1 night. Although Shen Xinyi's relatives hadn't left yet, she was in her menstrual period and was alone, so she needed company, so he stayed with her more. On the morning of the 8th, Li Jie saw off Xiao Qiao and Bai Wei at Hongqiao Airport. In the afternoon, he sent Shen Xinyi away again. Li Jie has been busy since the 9th. People from major game platforms came to Qwen Technology one after another to negotiate about being the agent of Qwen Farm. On the 10th, the number of registered users of Fun Farm exceeded 10 million, and at the same time, a plagiarized game Fun Farm appeared. On the 11th, people from Penguin Games also came to Fun Wan Games and also proposed to represent Qwen Farm. On the 10th, 11th, and 12th, Cuckoo Entertainment held actor auditions for the filming of a movie and 2 TV series, Old Boy and the Heirs, and A Smile is Beautiful. On the morning of the 13th, Li Jie was looking through the information of the selected actors in the office. During the 3 days of auditions, more than 2,000 people participated in the interviews, of which less than 100 were selected. In addition, there are more than 20 people sent by other brokerage companies through connections. These more than 100 people will participate in the second round of re-examination in a few days. Li Jie looked through the information in his hand and found many acquaintances: Mao Xiaotong, Zhao Xiaodao, Zhang Han. Zhao Xiaodao. This is a small flower for future generations. Nowadays, most of the young stars born in 1985 are already somewhat famous. Only Zhao Xiaodao is still a young actor. She is quite suitable for the heroine of The Heirs. She is lively and cheerful, has a sweet appearance, and her family is poor, but she is still optimistic and unyielding. However, the premise is that she is willing to sign with Cuckoo Entertainment. He does not want to help others praise artists. Li Jie then turned back and saw another acquaintance, Qianga. No, it was Nazar. Nazar's appearance suits Bai Weiwei very well, but her acting skills are really hard to describe, especially since she hasn't debuted yet and is still a pure amateur. In fact, Zhou Ziyu is the most suitable person to play Bai Weiwei, but it is impossible for Li Jie to let her play. Among the existing Xiahua, the one who is more suitable to play Bai Weiwei is Yang Fengxian. After all, her nickname is Big Mimi. This one fits Bai Weiwei's characteristics very well. However, with Yang Fengxian's current reputation, it is unlikely that he would like Cuckoo Entertainment. Li Jie marked more than a dozen resumes of Mao Xiaotong, Zhao Xiaodao, Nazar, and others as targets of focus. Among these dozen or so resumes, there were celebrities he was familiar with in later generations, as well as actors with outstanding appearance who had not yet made a mark in later generations. Then, Li Jie called his assistant Anya in. Mr. Li, Anya, who was very capable in professional attire, knocked on the door and walked in. Send these resumes to manager Zhang. Li Jie pointed to the pile of resumes on the table. Also, call Lu Kaiu in. After Anya left with her resume, Lu Kaiu walked in soon after. Husband, are you looking for me? Li Jie beckoned Lu Kaiu to his side, then held her in his arms and let her sit on his lap. There may be some workaholics who can work without sleep and food, but they can't do it. When they are tired from work, they must take a rest and relax. Holding Lu Kaiu in his arms and caressing her beautiful black legs, Li Jie immediately felt much more relaxed. He finally understood why male bosses like to find beautiful secretaries. Having a good secretary can really relax you. Husband, tomorrow is your birthday, how do you plan to celebrate it? Lu Kaiu asked. When Li Jie heard this, his hand caressing her beautiful legs paused. He was so busy these days that he forgot that tomorrow was his birthday. People who are not used to celebrating birthdays find it difficult to remember their own birthdays. However, how to celebrate this birthday is also a headache. Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, Lu Kaiu, Shen Xinyi, and Luan Xiaolin. Li Jie couldn't arrange it no matter how hard he tried. If you only accompany one, the other four will definitely not be happy. If you are rushing to a show and staying alone for a while, it will be too tiring, and even 5 people will not be satisfied. Treat people fairly and try to please everyone, but the result is often that no one will be pleased. This time he was really at his wit's end. Otherwise, just 5 people can live together. As for Luan Xiaolin, just take some time to comfort her. It's better not to let your lover in. Li Jie thought for a while and said to Lu Kaiu, Xiao Yu, please call and book a presidential suite. We will go to the hotel to celebrate together tomorrow. He decided to go all out and let the 4 of them get together. I just hope they don't start fighting. We, Lu Kaiu repeated the word we. She knew that the us Li Jie was talking about were definitely not just the 2 of them, but also Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, and that Xiao Wu, 1, 2 or all of them. At noon on the 14th, Xiao Jiao arrived at Hongqiao Airport by plane. When she walked out of the security check channel, she saw Shen Baihan coming to pick her up. Ms. Jiao, Mr. Li has something to do and can't leave, so he asked me to come and pick you up. Xiao Jiao nodded to Shen Baihan, Master Shen, I'm sorry to bother you. The 2 left the airport together and got into the Audi A8L. Shen Baihan drove Xiao Jiao to the Hilton Hotel. Entering the hotel, Xiao Jiao came to the front desk and reported her name, and the customer service manager led her to the presidential suite in the exclusive elevator. Xiao Jiao had been with Li Jie for such a long time, so she was quite knowledgeable, but this was her first time in the presidential suite, and she was a little surprised by how luxurious it was. This presidential suite is about 200 square meters, with an office area, 2 bedrooms, a dressing room, a living room and bar, a gym, 2 toilets, a bathroom, and an open-air viewing deck. Every corner is carefully designed to create a scene at every step. Xiao Jiao looked around in various rooms with excitement, including the living room, cloakroom, and bathroom. However, when she came to the hostess's room, she was stunned for a moment and stopped smiling. It turned out that Zhou Ziyu was sitting on the big bed in the room. Zhou Ziyu was stunned for a moment when she saw Xiao Jiao, and then she smiled and said, Xiao Jiao, you are here too. The 2 hadn't seen each other for more than 3 months. Zhou Ziyu sounded like a hostess, which made Xiao Jiao extremely unhappy. Zhou Huixu pretended to be honest at first, calling her sister one after another. But now he felt that he was favored by Li Jie, and he immediately became arrogant. The mistress's face. Xiao Jiao glanced at Zhou Ziyu coldly, this is the mistress's room, not something you, a mistress, are qualified to stay in. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 320. Facing Xiao Qiao's cold face, Zhou Ziyu smiled nonchalantly. Mistress. Don't say it so harshly, you, me, Lu Kaiyu, Shen Xinyi, we are all Li Zhe's girlfriends. Xiao Qiao snorted coldly, it doesn't sound good. If you don't think it sounds good, just don't steal other people's boyfriends. It's useless to argue, you are just a mistress. She hates Zhou Ziyu the most, not just because she is the instigator, nor because she often resorts to tricks, but because she actually tries to gain power and steal Li Zhe away completely. The smile on Zhou Ziyu's face remained unchanged. Xiao Qiao, it is not up to you to decide whether I am a mistress or not. There is no first come first serve relationship. The one who is not loved is the third party. She paused and then said, Xiao Qiao, don't you think you are not suitable for marrying Li Zhe? Taking the position will only make everyone uncomfortable. Why don't you take a step back? I will be the elder sister and you will be the younger sister. We sisters will get along with each other and stay with Li Zhe together. Isn't this great? Seeing Zhou Huixi being so provocative, Xiao Qiafei almost exploded with anger. What a fart! How could she have the nerve to say such shameless words? However, she quickly calmed down again. Xiao Qiao stared at Zhou Ziyu for a while, then suddenly sneered, Zhou Ziyu, don't think that you can get the upper hand by playing some tricks to please Li Zhe. Let me tell you, don't waste your efforts. Lover again being favored is also a lover. Also, I need to remind you that I am not only Li Zhe's girlfriend, I am also his fiancée. We have all met our parents and made an engagement. You, a mistress, are just dreaming about getting a higher position. So, get out of here quickly. Seeing that Xiao Qiao did not explode, but looked confident, Zhou Ziyu looked calm on the surface, but was a little surprised in her heart. Where did Xiao Qiao get her confidence? Thinking of seeing Li Zhe with Xiao Qiao and Bai Wei on the bund that night, Zhou Ziyu felt thoughtful. Li Zhe didn't come to see her on the 11th and 7 days. He had been staying with Xiao Qiao. During this period, something must have happened that she didn't know about. Zhou Ziyu looked at Xiao Qiao, smiled and said, meeting the parents? Are you talking about the aunt? I met her during the winter vacation last year, and the aunt also likes me very much. Also, let me remind you that there is no such thing as a fiancé-in-law, so it doesn't matter whether you are a girlfriend or a fiancé. When Xiao Qiao heard this, there was a buzz in his head, and his blood surged instantly. During last winter vacation, taking advantage of her opportunity to go home, Fox Zhou not only snatched away Li Zhe, but even went home with him to celebrate the new year. When she thought that the other party had seduced her boyfriend, took her place, and as Li Zhe's girlfriend, she blatantly went home with him to meet relatives and friends during the new year. But she has been kept secret like a fool until now. Xiao Qiao couldn't bear it anymore and completely forgot what Bai Wei told her not to be angered by Zhou Ziyu and not to act out of emotion. She rushed towards Zhou Ziyu, raised her hand and slapped him. She really couldn't swallow this breath without slapping Zhou Huhu and teaching her a lesson. What she regretted most was that she hesitated and didn't slap her hard. Before the slap fell, Zhou Ziyu reached out and grabbed Xiao Qiao's wrist. The smile disappeared from her face. Xiao Qiao, I don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight me, but I want to beat you. If I don't teach you a lesson, you don't know how powerful I am. You shameless mistress. His wrist was grabbed and unable to break free, Xiao Qiao simply threw his whole body forward and threw Zhou Ziyu directly onto the big bed. Zhou Ziyu was unprepared and was suddenly knocked down by Xiao Qiao, receiving 2 blows on her body. After reacting, she also started to fight back. With a strong force on her hands, she turned over and pressed Xiao Jiao under her again. Two girls started fighting on the bed. It is said that Zhou Ziyu has good physical strength. He was bullied when he was a child and fought with many people. He also has a lot of fighting experience. He should be able to subdue Xiao Jiao quickly. But Xiao Jiao was so angry that he did everything possible, including pulling his hair, tearing his clothes, biting her, and attacking her chest. Girls are used to taking turns using fighting moves, and Zhou Ziyu was actually beaten to death by her random punches. She was so confused that she was at a disadvantage. However, she quickly turned the situation around with her physical strength and experience. Just as the two were fighting fiercely, someone heard someone say in surprise, "Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, what are you doing?" Xiao Jiao and Zhou Ziyu stopped at the same time and looked in the direction where they were speaking. They saw the sexy and capable Lu Kaiyu standing at the door, wearing a secretary's outfit, a small suit and white shirt and hip skirt and black and high heels, looking at the two of them in amazement. Her long black stocking legs are particularly eye-catching. Lu Kaiyu is here to arrange the birthday scene. She is Li Zhe's girlfriend and personal secretary, so she must be responsible for this kind of work. But as soon as she entered the presidential suite, she heard movement in the bedroom. Following the sound, I walked in and was surprised to see Xiao Jiao and Zhou Ziyu yelling and fighting together. "Xiao Yu, you're here," Zhou Ziyu smiled at Lu Kaiyu. It's just that her hair was torn, her clothes were torn, her skirt was torn, and her black silk underwear was faintly exposed. She looked really embarrassed and lost her usual elegance and sophistication. Relatively speaking, Xiao Jiao is better. Her hair is a bit messy, but her clothes and pants are not damaged. Lu Kaiyu couldn't help but want to laugh when she looked at them. Especially when she saw Zhou Ziyu's deflated look, she felt a little happy. Who makes the other party always be an accomplice and bully her together with Li Zhe? You two continue, I'll go out first. She was also a bit bad, and she closed the bedroom door when she went out. Lu Kaiyu left, Xiao Jiao and Zhou Ziyu looked at each other, and neither of them made another move. Xiao Jiao still wanted to fight again, but her energy was exhausted. Zhou Ziyu smiled and began to arrange her hair and clothes. At this moment, Xiao Jiao suddenly raised his hand and slapped him hard. Snapped. Zhou Ziyu was unprepared, so he received a solid slap, and his face turned red instantly. She was a little confused, covering her face and looking at Xiao Jiao in disbelief. After Xiao Jiao received the slap, he felt comfortable all over. She finally let out her bad breath. "Mistress, you know how powerful I am." After saying these harsh words, she quickly stood up, opened the door and ran away. If she didn't run away, if Zhou Ziyu retaliated, she wouldn't have the strength to fight him again. After Xiao Jiao ran out, Zhou Ziyu, who was covering her face, suddenly showed an inexplicable smile. She really didn't expect Xiao Jiao to take action suddenly. She could see Xiao Jiao's character very clearly. He was just a paper tiger. He was very arrogant, but he couldn't be cruel at all. Unexpectedly, the paper tiger will also show its power one day. To be honest, if it weren't for Li Zhe, she really wanted to be friends and besties with Xiao Jiao. I really didn't want to be a warm man when I was reborn. Author, Li Yuanzhe. Chapter 321. She likes the other person's character very much. Zhou Ziyu thought this, raised his hand and slapped himself hard on the face. Her slap was much heavier than Xiao Jiao's, and the half of her face that had been slapped red suddenly became swollen. The contrast with the white and tender cheek on the right side is very obvious. Xiao Jiao's slap gave her a chance. She didn't know what method Bai Wei had thought of for Xiao Jiao, which suddenly gave her the confidence. That's right, Zhou Ziyu has already guessed that it was Bai Wei who took action and was helping Xiao Jiao with suggestions. Through the trial just now, she discovered that Xiao Jiao was still the same Xiao Jiao, with limited growth. She suddenly had the confidence to fight her, and it was obvious that someone was helping behind her. And this person can only be Bai Wei. Zhou Ziyu couldn't guess what solution Bai Wei came up with for Xiao Jiao. But all he can do is show weakness in front of Li Jie and win sympathy. Then she can show weakness. Zhou Ziyu knew that she had one biggest disadvantage compared with Xiao Jiao. That is, Li Jie always thinks that she is the strong one and Xiao Jiao is the weak one. Who knows that she has left a very scheming impression on Li Jie. But this time is a good opportunity to change Li Jie's impression. There is no need to make Li Jie believe that she is the weak one, it is enough to let him know that she will also be bullied. In fact, Zhou Ziyu didn't want to use tricks like this, but she just wanted to find a man to rely on. What's wrong with that? When she takes over, she will definitely treat Xiao Jiao well. Shi Shenyu is not a vicious second female lead, but a somewhat scheming but still kind-hearted female lead. What she just said was true. She didn't ask for much. As long as she had that certificate, she could share the rest with Xiao Jiao, Lu Kaiyu, and Shen Xinyi. She never thought about dominating Li Jie. Zhou Ziyu walked out of the bedroom and came to the living room, where he found Xiao Jiao and Lu Kaiyu sitting far away and not talking. Lu Kaiyu noticed that the left half of Zhou Ziyu's face was red and swollen, and couldn't help but be a little surprised. She glanced at Xiao Jiao subconsciously. I didn't expect Xiao Jiao to be so powerful and really beat up Zhou Ziyu. Xiao Jiao was a little surprised and stared at Zhou Ziyu's face. The slap she slapped the other person was very hard, but it shouldn't be so serious. Isn't she playing a cruel trick? The more Xiao Jiao thought about it, the more he felt it was very possible, and he was both frightened and angry. Fox this week is really too scheming. Zhou Ziyu, you are so capable, you even resorted to the bitter trick, she said coldly. Zhou Ziyu looked at Xiao Jiao and smiled. Xiao Jiao, I haven't seen you for a few months, but you have become more powerful. Lu Kaiyu watched with cold eyes, watching the two fighting. She felt more and more interesting. However, she didn't want to get involved in the fight between Xiao Jiao and Zhou Ziyu. No matter who wins or loses, it won't be her turn. She might as well work as Li Jie's secretary with peace of mind. Just when the three of them had different thoughts, Shen Xian walked in, dragging a small suitcase and accompanied by his personal butler. She was wearing a white t-shirt and denim shorts, a pink jacket, and a pair of white sneakers. She looked pure and energetic. As soon as they saw Shen Xian walking in, Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, and Lu Kaiyu all laid their eyes on her. Then the three of them all stared at each other, and Shen Xinyi wore a very conspicuous large diamond ring on his left hand. Why does she have a diamond ring? Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, and Lu Kaiyu glanced at the gold rings on their hands at the same time. The ring that I originally liked very much suddenly didn't like it that much anymore. Li Jie had no idea that his little girlfriend and his little lover were fighting again. Little did he know that Shen Guiguai, who was very good in his heart, wore a diamond ring to show off, which made Xiao Jiao, Zhou Ziyu, and Lu Kaiyu resent him. At the entrance of another five-star hotel, Li Jie waited for Luan Xiaolin, who was wearing a mask, sunglasses, and a peaked cap, and was wrapped tightly. Even though Luan Xiaolin hid her face, Li Jie recognized her at a glance after she got out of the taxi. Her iconic long legs are so conspicuous. As soon as she saw Li Jie, Luan Xiaolin ran a few steps to his side, smiled and hugged her arm. Husband. Li Jie took a look at Luan Xiaolin, who was covered up tightly, and felt that she was exaggerating. She is just an unknown little actress. What paparazzi would have nothing to do but stare at her and take pictures? Li Jie walked into the hotel with Luan Xiaolin in his arms and got a double bedroom. After the waiter introduced the facilities in the room and left, Luan Xiaolin immediately took off her mask, sunglasses, and cap. She saw Li Jie take out something like a small detector, looked around, and asked curiously, "Husband, what are you doing?" I'm looking for any hidden cameras, Li Jie said. Camera? Secretly filming, Luan Xiaolin's face changed slightly when she heard this. No one wants to be the star of a little movie for others to enjoy. It's unlikely that this is a 5-star hotel, right? It's unlikely, but you have to be careful. Li Jie checked every place in the room, and then went to the bathroom with the detector. Nowadays, there are relatively few people putting cameras in hotels to take pictures, and the possibility of a 5-star hotel is even smaller, but you still have to be careful. When Li Jie checked into a room with Xiao Jiao and Zhou Ziyu before, he would check the room carefully. In Hongcheng, especially in remote places like the teacher's college, things are better. The more developed a place is like Shanghai, the more careful you have to be. After carefully checking the bathroom and finding no camera, Li Jie returned to the bedroom and gave the detector to Luan Xiaolin. Every time you stay in a hotel from now on, you must use this to check the entire room first. More and more people will take secret photos in the future. Luan Xiaolin will become a second-tier or even first-tier star in the future. If her privacy is secretly photographed, she will be in big trouble. Honey, I know, Luan Xiaolin took the detector and put it away. Then she took out a suit from the bag she brought and handed it to Li Jie. Happy birthday, hubby. I don't know what you like, so I picked out a suit for you. At least you can wear it when you go to work. Li Jie took the suit and looked at it, and found that it was a Versace suit. This suit and tie and shirt and leather shoes cost at least 30 to 40,000. Judging from Luan Xiaolin's income at this time, she is very considerate. It's nice to give him a suit, I like it very much, he said with a smile. When Luan Xiaolin heard this, her face suddenly showed joy. In order to buy gifts for Li Jie, she spent almost all the money she earned from filming. But as long as he likes it, it's worth it. Husband, try it on and see if it fits you. Under Luan Xiaolin's service, Li Jie changed into a suit. Luan Xiaolin helped him put on his tie again and adjusted the collar. Okay. Li Jie moved around and found that the suit was neither tight nor loose, it was just right, as if it was tailor-made for him. Xiaolin, how do you know my size? I just know it anyway, Luan Xiaolin said with a smile. How did she know Li Jie's size? Of course it's measured to your body. By the way, Yang Hao also asked me to bring you a gift, she said as if she was remembering something again. Yang Hao, Li Jie was a little surprised. Yang Hao was right, Li Jie had already pushed him to the back of his head. He can't take care of his girlfriend or lover, so how can he have time to think about irrelevant people? Luan Xiaolin took out another gift box from the bag. This is it.